Well, hello there, beautiful. It's good to see you again. I hope you're as excited as we are for today's episode. We have a very special guest that we love and appreciate very much, and we think you will too. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and review us on whatever platform you're currently tolerating us on. We would also really appreciate it if you would spread and share the word with your friends. It means a lot to us. Please send any comments, concerns, questions, or just general hate mail to liquorbeforebeerpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Now here's the show. Stands in.
So much better.
Yeah,
cool.
we can actually see each other now, which is really cool.
Oh, okay.
I mean, sort of.
I don't even remember what it was before.
It was like
way
here
up high
and
and in your face.
Well, no, whenever he was here last time, it was on the sides. We didn't even know.
Oh,
Dude,
trash.
Are we recording?
Yeah, it's recording right now, but we might not necessarily use any of this yet.
Okay. So what exactly happened with the round one?
What?
Oh yeah, I guess.
Round one.
No.
Wait. What happened in round one?
Okay. So welcome,
Hi
Will
there.
Perry here.
What'd you say?
Will Perry here. Will Perry here.
Oh, I thought I was like, whoa.
I thought you just messed up.
Will Perry here.
He didn't.
No, I just said.
It's a bad impersonation.
Ah, Perry, huh?
Well, man.
No, we're welcome today with our very good friend from False Idol, the head brewer, Will Perry.
Every time. See?
Wow.
JP.
Last week was Josh.
Josh, get out of my body.
Can't help it.
Ew.
Very inviting body.
It's like Ghost.
Very inviting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Will just asked us what happened last time. So the very first episode that we did here with a guest was with Will, and you've never seen it because we never uploaded it. We had a lot of different equipment at the time, and
Poo-poo
we've been poo-poo equipment as they
Poo-poo.
call it. That's a technical term.
Mm-hmm.
And
Industry stuff.
yeah, and, just
You know how
I don't
it
want
is.
to bore you with all this terminology.
Poo-poo.
Poo-poo.
It was fine.
it really was. It was fine.
It was fine. It was fine, but we have upgraded a lot since then. And so with that, it changed so quickly that we just didn't like what we had before. And we were a lot happier.
I like how he
now.
says we.
I was very unhappy with everything that we had.
The sound levels were like, we'd have to really raise it, and it was low.
It was the whole
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
Yeah.
It was
We're
a whole
going to waste your
thing.
time again now.
Don't let me bore you with my knowledge of audio equipment, but
yeah. We
You know what
won't.
they
We won't.
say?
Don't worry.
very little.
Third time's a charm.
But yeah, so Will was actually supposed to be the very first guest that we were ever going to have on the podcast. And he technically was. We just never released that episode. So now you're the 8th guest, which is...
Hey, you've
really-
done that.
No.
This is number
well,
8.
we've had
episode.
2 that didn't have guests.
Yeah.
Well, okay, it's the 8th episode.
People hate us.
So who all's been on?
That's fair. Shug, Matt...
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Elon Musk. You know, the usual
That's for the
suspects.
Patreon members.
Yeah.
Shakira.
But yeah, that's about it. Matt was on a couple of them.
Okay,
and
cool.
yeah, we ended up drinking pretty heavily after the first one that we did with them. He's like, "I'll just stay for another one if you guys are gonna record another." I'm like, okay.
It was a lot of fun.
But yeah, so we have changed some things. We used to do a shot of liquor before we started, and yeah, we stopped doing that because it got out of hand very quickly.
Because reasons.
Because of
Because-
episode,
I
because
mean,
of episode
because-
1.
Yeah, because of episode.
What? I didn't do anything.
That was the
I
problem.
mean, nothing that we can prove for sure.
No one will ever know, except for the 4 of us.
Take that shot. It's still there.
It's still available.
Well, so
but yeah.
instead,
So we're just gonna do a shot of beer.
Okay.
Ooh.
Cheers.
oh yeah,
but
and that was
also-
that was Primo Juice, by the way.
Yeah.
New IPA
very
that we'll
good.
have
Said it.
around
That's
all the
delicious.
You
time.
didn't say it cool enough.
Primo
I like that a lot.
Juice.
Cousin juice.
Don't do that.
Yikes.
People know.
What?
I was just telling JP that we're releasing Almafix Wolves, which is like a hazy pale ale, like 5.5% tomorrow, and I should have brought it. I was too distracted doing all that stuff, so I'm sorry. I should have brought that for you guys to try as well.
That's
No,
a
it's
great-
cool. We're
it's a
really
great
excited
beer.
about the beers that we're gonna be trying today.
I bought that
from
at
the
Civil
other-
Pour. It was delicious.
Do you
Oh,
know what
cool.
moment this is? It is a new segment since episode 1 we didn't do this, but can you guess the hops that were actually used in Primo Juice?
I already told him.
Well,
If you can
Damn
remember.
it!
he told me, but
Well,
I know. I could.
You know one
definitely-
of them.
I could definitely have gotten the Sabro.
Boom.
That's
Yeah, that
that's a dead
coconut comes
giveaway.
through.
And
very
I know
strongly.
Citra is in there
Man.
because
Hey, he's a pro, ladies and
Josh told
gentlemen.
me.
Yeah, I literally just told him like 10 minutes ago. So, but he's a savant.
All right,
so.
he-
Really good
aced the
memory, by the
test.
way. You could tell me the hop. There it is.
Well,
There
well,
it
well,
is.
well.
But yeah, so a lot of things have changed. I know that was only like 2 months ago, but as you can
was
tell,
it 2 months? Jeez.
yeah,
Was it really? Oh,
yeah,
Dude, time
Feels
is
like forever
ridiculous.
ago.
it's crazy.
not
And
2 months.
Only 2 months? I'm like, oh.
only. But also today is May the 5th, so happy Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de
Yeah.
Mayo.
Cheers. Whenever this episode comes out, it will not be Cinco de Mayo. It'll be exactly a week from today. But yesterday, sure.
6 days from now.
But I hope everybody had a good Cinco de Mayo.
Mhm.
So far, it's been fun.
And I May the 4th be with you yesterday.
That was fantastic. It was a good time. You
good
guys
day.
didn't even watch any Star Wars. so I
Hey,
don't
shut
really-
up. It was on the brewery. Okay, I was busy. It's
And that
playoffs.
counts.
It's 2 different professional sports league playoffs right now. Jeez.
There was basketball.
Basketball
there
and
was
hockey.
And how'd they do?
Well, Stars didn't play yesterday.
Who?
So.
Were you talking about our local teams? Not
No.
good. Other teams did
No,
good.
nobody else is talking about
Luka
them, so why
did
would
great.
Sure, he did. Yep.
Ship.
Yep.
Just, look, I don't want to get too
Are the
sidetracked.
Mavs still in the playoffs?
Kinda.
I mean, if you wanna-
Technically.
What does that mean?
Down by 2.
Well,
if that's
there-
what you wanna call it,
we're
still in
getting
the-
we're
Oh.
playing the best team in the league.
Yeah, you ever heard the term Suns in 4?
No.
Remember last year when somebody got their ass beat and the guy went, Suns in 4.
Suns in 4.
That's who we're playing currently.
There was like a
so-
video where some dude said Suns and 4 and punched somebody. It was a whole thing.
And then
I
3
didn't see
days,
that.
3 games later, they won in 4, and it was
Yeah.
like a whole thing.
It was, he
so.
predicted it.
But the Mavs, they won their
Oh,
first
the
series.
Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the Mavs beat the Utah Jazz in the first round, did really great, and now we're playing the best team in the entire league and getting fucking thwacked.
That's probably the best.
It's not been good.
Yikes.
So, yep. But the Stars are also playing, and that should be a little bit more entertaining.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're always good come playoff time. So
You guys are sports people, aren't you?
Sporties.
Yeah.
them more than I on
Well,
certain
I
things.
watch more sports, but you read more sports stuff, I think.
I hear a lot from JP, which is nice. That's
That's
where I
true.
get a lot of my information from.
I just
and then I
subscribe
go,
to
I
ESPN.
know that game.
I'm
Ah.
like the only person at False Idol that's not into sports.
Oh, man.
I mean, there's a
Yeah,
lot.
like
That's
all
fine.
of them.
You actually have like,
especially Brandon. Brandon's like,
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
it
yeah.
doesn't matter the
Big
sport.
time.
Like cricket. If we had a cricket league, biggest fan. He loves all sports.
Ah, shit! I love.
I
Cricket.
grew up with cricket.
I watch golf. That's like I can tell you every leaderboard in like
Yeah.
going on in golf right
well,
now.
even
but
yeah,
that's-
Michael was like, he
Yeah.
went to the bartender the other day and was like, "Can we turn on the Masters?"
Oh yeah, well we were watching that.
Well, yeah, it's
all
the
day.
Masters. Yeah, we literally like we had an episode with Matt on while the Masters was going, and we had it on the TV. So every so often you'll see us go, ooh.
Oh, what a shot.
Yeah, see, I just can't relate at all, especially golf because it's so boring to watch.
All
you
right,
should try playing.
If you're not
moving
into
on.
it,
Wait,
you're
wait,
You'll
not.
probably be
Wait, do you
really
like darts?
good.
Do you like darts?
Yeah, I'm really into billiards. It's kind of my thing.
Do you,
I love
No,
bar
I'm not
games.
fucking with you.
I, do
Darts?
too. I'm terrible at them, but I love
Nothing?
bar games.
Do I watch?
do you play darts?
Well, I mean, I've played it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
You
it's
enjoy
fun.
it?
He's more
Yeah,
of a
it's
fisherman.
fine.
He likes fishing.
Nobody.
I'm trying to figure out what he. What,
Nobody
there's got to be
watches
something
competitive
that-
darts.
Oh, he's a fisherman.
I
you're
like
right.
fishing. Hell yeah.
He is a fisherman. That
I
does.
wa-
I
got-
love fishing.
I got a
Actually,
hand.
it's really relaxing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we used to. I haven't gone forever.
He's an angler.
Growing up, we had a farm in
Tip of the
like,
angler's cap.
Granbury area, and we had a
Okay.
pond that was stocked. And like I just used a cane pole. Like I wouldn't use the reel or anything. Like it was
Really?
so much fun. Caught me a four plus
4
pound,
ounce?
pound bass on a cane pole. Almost pulled me
What
into
a
the pond.
gangster, bro.
Dude, that's
Pretty cool.
for a cane pole. That's tough, man.
I mean,
That-
that's a big fish no matter what.
And
That's
I
like
was-
4 pounds.
yeah, and I was like 12, so
No, I don't dislike sports. I'm not super into them. That's
Yeah.
all.
No, I get
Yeah.
that.
No,
Yeah.
I
that's
mean, I'll
fair.
watch I went to OU, so I'll watch a couple of OU
Yeah,
games every year,
sure.
but I don't
Like,
keep up with all the
Boomer.
players and all that stuff.
Sooner. Do you do that?
No.
Okay.
no.
Next
No,
subject.
absolutely
oh
not.
my gosh.
Moving
no.
on.
Anything but
Glad we
that.
got that out.
Who do you
I hope they do well, but
Don't care that much.
how do you feel
Go
about
education.
How do you feel about
That's my sport.
How do you feel about OU fans? Because The college football fans are, I think, some of the worst out there, just in general.
They're ridiculous. I will say, I don't think that OU fans are as bad as like Aggies.
Aggies are the
Oh,
worst.
Aggies are
Aggies suck.
My fiance is an Aggie, and
Feel
she's
bad
just
for 'em.
rough
If
I
she
to
didn't
be
realize
around.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the OU thing is very, they're very boisterous. And
Oh, yeah,
they're very like, oh, boomer, like you said.
Yeah.
It's also
Um,
Oklahoma. There's not a whole lot else to really root for.
They have
outside
some
of the
epic,
Thunder,
Well,
so-
is it Bedlam?
It's
Is that what it is?
OU and OSU, yeah.
yeah.
It's like they have these like epic names for stadiums and like
Well, no, Bedlam's when OU plays
plays-
OSU.
that's what it is.
Yeah, but the only professional sports team is the Thunder.
Yeah.
the basketball
Back, dude,
team.
Which
back
is
in the
cool,
day
like-
though, Kevin Durant.
Yeah, Russ Westbrook,
yeah.
James
Westbrook,
Harden. Yeah,
Yeah, like that was
They
that was
were-
the team. That was a
yeah.
force.
They were
that was the
good.
one. Yeah,
How are they now?
They're all on separate teams.
I think they're doing pretty bad.
Harden's
now.
in the
He
playoffs.
doesn't.
I
He
don't
actually
think-
doesn't know. He's not even being a dick. He's
Oh,
just.
no. They all got traded
Oh,
away.
you do?
I don't think that any.
I know that they're not there.
all
What,
the main
Harden
players are
I
plays
gone.
can't
for
name a
the
player on
Phillies,
the team
the
currently. So
Philadelphia 76ers, and then you've got
Well, I just found that out. because he was with the Rockets a long time, wasn't he?
West. Yep, West. That's actually pretty funny. James Harden actually pretended to be like way overweight, and he was wearing this fat suit,
so he'd get traded.
so he'd get traded, and then
way.
He actually was wearing a fat
Yeah.
suit. What if I hate that guy?
and then he took it off. Like he got
Oh,
traded
such a
to I think like the Nets or somebody. I don't know, but he ended up getting traded. He got what
Is he
he
the
wanted,
one with the
and then
super
took his thing off.
manicured
And was
beard?
super in shape, and was like,
Wow, that's
Told
really
you.
weird.
yeah. And then you've got Russell
What a prick.
Westbrook. He's at the Lakers. They're done. And then you've got
They've never made the playoffs because
Kevin Durant.
Fuck
I
the
think
Lakers.
I could be wrong. I think he's on the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, he
now.
is.
Yeah. So they're all still around.
don't let us bore you with our basketball knowledge.
Oh, you're fine. I don't care. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I hear,
Well, I mean,
I hear it
he
all the
knew. He
time.
knew immediately. He went. To,
I know
Did you go to
some.
a Thunder game when they played? Like all.
Yeah.
The three of them.
Yeah.
Such a-
Was
pretty
it
cool,
fun?
man.
Was the crowd good? Like, I feel like it'd probably be super supportive it being your only
Who got
professional
thwacked
team.
that day? Because that was an amazing lineup.
Thwacked.
I mean, it was
the day-
everybody. Everybody was into it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It didn't really feel that much different than like if I were going to a Mavs game.
Yeah.
Today.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it felt kind of the same. Like people were there to watch the game. They were supportive. It wasn't like the glory days of going to a pro basketball game or something
Yeah.
like that.
Right. Did you? Are you when you go to a game? Do you drink? Do you get a beer?
Yeah, sure.
What?
it's only $40 a beer.
I know.
so
I gotta
who
ask.
cares?
Yeah, I mean, it is
Gotta do it.
expensive. I don't know if you pre-game it.
It depends on the situation, right? So like lately, my wife's been getting. We've had one box seat
Mm.
to a Mavs game that
Ooh.
her work got, and she was able to claim it. So we went, and that is free booze, and she's pregnant, so easy DD right there.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
I will have a
I'll have your best
Double
17
makers.
beers. Stat.
That's awesome.
yeah.
Oh, also, we also have to say, whenever this comes out, 5 days from now, you'll be a father again for the third time. So congratulations.
That's right.
Feels
Holy
like the
cow.
third
Oh, wait.
time.
I am
Oh, yeah.
perfect. That was a good play.
Josh has two jobs: pouring beer and that.
I'm the rap air
The
horn
hype
guy.
man. That's
He's
the
a hype man.
He's
Yeah.
hyping
He's the
it up.
DJ.
Better
You
Yeah.
believe
could have
it.
set up with like a full soundboard and like wire it in.
Just push the buttons. That'd be fucking cool.
It's like this tall. You have to like,
You're way too.
I would be well. David Mino on the ticket is my hero, so I would.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can kind of get into it a little bit. What are we drinking right now?
I got ADP.
I'm drinking this West Coast that you told me about. Re-up.
What do you think?
I like it. Yeah, it's really nice.
It didn't really drop out. We biofined it like normal and all that. And
The AY4 is weird sometimes, man. It's kind of
so
unpredictable.
this was a double LP one,
Ugh, it's my least favorite.
Why?
huh?
Why double it?
Why'd you use that?
Because I like their price point and we're using it so much that I was having issues cropping AY4,
Okay.
and so we're using it so much now. Whether it's like the fruited sours, stouts,
yeah.
anything like that, that I wanted to get a liquid pitch that we could reharvest.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean that's fair. I say that because it's like effectively the same. Like
Yeah, it's the
right?
same.
So-
it's just
but the
cheaper and
cropping makes
easier to
sense.
use on that.
Yeah.
But since we're harvesting, but I think it's the biofine issue that we had before, which I think wasn't the product itself. I think it's because it's sitting a certain way and we weren't shaking it, and it was just separating.
Wow.
Oh, the actual jug?
Yeah.
It did. Yeah, it separates.
Yeah, we're
It's so
idiots.
annoying.
We're dumb. I think we figured it out.
It's
now,
weird
though.
that it like crystallizes sometimes
It
too.
does.
It's
It's
super bizarre.
wild.
That's why I was like married to those little small containers of Biofine because it was
You
a
don't
new
have to
one.
worry about
It was
it.
a new one every time.
Yeah.
Because I've found too, like when you get towards the end of those 5-gallon like blue jugs, it becomes less effective. And I don't know what exactly is happening, but it seems like it's less effective towards the end of it. I don't know if it's oxygen. Or what that's making it
Probably.
weird,
Maybe that'd be
Yeah.
the only thing I think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's strange. But yeah, awesome. Let's get into it then a little bit. We got 3 different topics. Who wants to go first? Well,
See you to me or
since-
JP.
Oh,
You want to fight?
yeah, yeah. You
I'll,
know,
I'll go second, then we can kind of
Fine,
introduce
yeah.
False Idol with the
Okay,
whole
you wanna do
conversation
that
and everything,
second?
too.
all right, so here we go.
yeah,
All right,
news
all
story.
right. News story. Breaking news. This one comes all the way from Mount Clemens, Michigan. Let me read you the headline. I kind of already read it to you guys. Car owner who left Jeep at dealership gets sued after worker dies during oil change. So think about this. You've probably dropped your vehicle or your wife's vehicle over at a dealer or a place to get an oil change.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. You
Not once.
kind of wait, or you go and run off if there's something close and do your thing, and you come back 15, 20 minutes and oil should be changed, car should be good, transaction happens, you leave.
Yeah.
Well, this guy drops his car off and does the same thing, goes in, does that, and then I guess they have the car porter that takes the car from the customer to the technician's garage. And the technicians in like their bay area thing, when they drive
okay.
over.
Yeah, sure.
And so the porter did not know how to drive a stick. And so a manual transmission.
Oh, shit.
And it, if you're new to driving a stick or if you tried it before, it's
Yeah, you're like, why are there two brakes?
I shouldn't start laughing.
Brake,
double
harder brake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I'm guessing in this situation, it's brake, not as good brake.
But everyone's stalled out in a manual transmission, right?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
So it does that leap forward thing, right? Like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
yeah, and then
Oh,
the car
shit.
dies.
And
I see where this is going now.
he did that, and it crushed the guy, the technician that was under just waiting.
Oh, he did it while the guy was under the car?
Yeah.
Oh.
What
Yeah.
the
And
hell?
it killed the guy.
And it was like a 19-year-old kid. Like
That's even
he's
worse.
just he's just trying to make ends meet here. He's got this job where he's how hard could it be to drive cars back and forth? It's great, right?
Easy if it's only automatic.
Well, apparently, yeah.
Oh
So
my gosh.
what happened was there is the family of the gentleman that died, the technician, they can't sue the dealership because you can't sue like that business because there's a liability that he signed away saying like he can't go back after them. And so they can't go after the porter either because he's a 19-year-old kid. And so the only thing that makes sense for them right now is to go after the car owner who just dropped a car off.
Yeah, they're going to lose that in
So,
an
Oh,
instant.
that's
yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I mean, I feel bad for the family of the guy that died. That's really terrible, but I
Oh,
don't
it's
know. I don't
awful.
really know what they're expecting in the lawsuit.
I mean,
The story itself, I think, should just tell everybody, hey, you should learn how to drive stick. You never know whenever you'll need that.
They barely even exist
Skill.
anymore. I
Mike?
mean, we all.
it's that
you know
one
how to drive
interview
one, I'm
question that
assuming,
would have
right?
been good.
Sorry, what?
You know. I mean, you know how to drive a stick, correct?
My forklift is a standard,
Oh, what?
and I'm not
Show
joking.
off.
That sounds horrible.
God, he's always showing
It's
off.
from, it's from the 80s. Don't be jealous. Nothing works on it. All the gauges are broken. But yeah,
He
it's
used to have to
pretty
jump
rad.
that thing with his personal car.
Oh yeah,
Just a
our
story.
not transmission, alternator was all
alternator.
broken, so we had to
Ooh.
jump it every single time. So I had to pull my car up there every single time to jump
brutal.
You like make the potato thing that you make in like school, the little electricity deal.
Potato battery.
Potato battery specifically for starting
Yeah,
jump
yeah.
starting your forklift.
Oh, that's
It's the forklift
so-
potato.
That sucks so bad.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
I still even. So how did the person die? There was somebody underneath the car.
So
Well, yeah, if you think like if you ever
Yeah.
take like a Jiffy Lube, they'll like stand and it comes up to like chest level because
Yeah.
they're working underneath the car.
Yeah.
And he must have like thought it was like, okay, stop, and then whomp, you hit the
Yeah, he
clutch.
just- he
and
didn't
just
started
pop.
under-
he freaked
underneath.
out. He didn't.
There's
He
some-
was just rolling up, and he's like, "Hey, the kid got the car moving, right?"
This sounds like multiple
And
mistakes.
then-
That's more than a lot of people would do.
It's more than a lot of people. And then when he went to go slow down, which I could see could be very difficult if you're not used to the extra pedal there, but
Yeah,
yeah, he just didn't know what was going on, and I'm sure the car just viciously leapt forward and stalled out, and then, but in that moment, crushed that
Pop.
guy.
Why was the guy
the guy-
already in that?
Because he's waiting to pull the drain plug, and
Why is he? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
he's
a
got to be
little-
under the car,
yeah.
and then he comes out and he, does everything.
You know, for the porter in this situation, the whole fake it till you make it didn't pan out super well.
Yeah.
I can. Yeah, I'm sure I can do it. I've played
I mean, anything in a mechanical kind of work environment, don't fake that.
I've played Cruising USA.
Because I mean, you can blame that kid as much as you want to, which is fair. Like, that sucks. You shouldn't have tried to. Just be honest and say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing here. But the other side of it too is I kind of agree with what Josh is saying. Like, you shouldn't already be in that position, right?
Yeah.
Like ready to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I've worked in like car lots before, and you don't start working on a car or in position. Like, you don't have guys laying on the ground waiting for a car to get on the hop until it's up there already.
I've watched him do it. Like, every time I'm just sitting there. I don't go and do something. I just sit there and watch them change my oil, and then they get under, like they do it, but they're not already underneath the car.
There's definitely multiple mistakes that were made here. It just really sucks that it ended the
I
way
think,
that it did. That's so sad.
it's an opportunity for some like more safety protocol. For
It's
those
the
businesses.
worst kind of learning experience.
Yeah, I just don't know how the family can justify
It's not
just
really-
suing, John Smith essentially for just doing what most
For
people
bringing their
do.
car in.
Unless you're handy and you change your own oil, kudos to you. But most of us take it to a Jiffy Lube. Or
I like the ones where you just drive in.
Yeah, those are my
and you
10
stay,
minute,
you
like
stay
10
in the
minute oil
car.
change.
And
Oh, like
they
a-
just do it right there.
No, like-
Take 5, I think.
Yeah,
is
Take
what it
5,
is?
that's
yeah,
right.
you're
Yeah.
just chilling in the car, like playing on your phone, listening to music.
They're the
That's
ones
the
with the
best.
terrible commercials.
Yeah,
They'll tell you
awful.
how to reset everything, and they're like, "Oh yeah, just hold this down, and you're good." Anything else you need, sir? And you're like, "No."
You know what pisses me
Oh,
off,
I got 2
though,
coupons.
Is when they don't give you a sticker for the windshield, because my wife recently,
Oh yeah.
well, not recently, I recently found out that she didn't have a sticker on her windshield. So we don't know when it was changed.
It's
or
been
when it's due for a
15,000
change.
miles.
What do you do in that situation? Are you like me and just go, eke out,
I'm keeping an
Few
eye.
miles?
I'm keeping an eye on the level, making sure it's not going dry, and then I think, like, I don't know, in a month or 2 we'll get it changed.
Yeah, it's
She
usually
doesn't-
like
yeah.
3 or 4 months, right? Something
yeah,
like
well,
around there.
And she doesn't
I
drive
think they always
that
put like
much.
every quarter on there.
I mean, it's based on
I
mileage.
go like
Right.
twice a year, I'd say.
I'm behind.
You go twice a year?
Yeah, like every 6,000 to 7,000 miles. That's
Okay.
what the owner's
Yeah,
manual
so-
says. So
synthetic
Really,
is-
man, it
yeah.
usually says like 2 or 3, but like
Nah,
five.
well, that's
he's
what
using
they
that.
always say.
5's the real
That's
number.
big
using
oil,
that
dude.
synthetic.
Yeah, big oil's trying to get you
Big
to pay
oil.
more.
5,000 is the that's more realistic. I mean, you could stretch it a little bit. If it's a newer car, like older
mean,
cars.
What
As
is
long
your
as
last
it-
name? Castro?
As long as the oil is still in there, as long
Fidel
as it's not
Castro.
dry, you can go pretty
Fidel
far.
Castro.
Yeah, man.
But yeah.
I don't. Also, changing your own oil is dumb. Like, you can't unless you can get oil at a super cheap price. It's
It's about the same.
I've
mean-
never agreed with Josh Moore.
It's about the
So-
same, and then you're left
It's
with
such a pain
spent
in the
oil.
butt. For
And
like
you have to go get it
$40 of
disposed of.
convenience.
I used to do it, and also like so. I mean, you'll pay like $25 doing it yourself, but there are places that do it for $25. There's multiple, but there's also places like that do 40 or 50 or 60 depending on what they do.
Yeah, if you don't have synthetic.
Yeah,
you can
well,
get cheaper,
synthetic,
but-
you're paying.
Or
a
if you
lot.
just go to the dealership that you bought the car at, they're like, "Yeah, we'll charge you double, no problem. Come on back."
dealerships.
Yeah, dealerships are the worst.
Yeah.
Those guys are robbers.
And they,
Right.
yeah, and they're always just like, also, did you know like your carburetor over here said you know over you're doing?
Did
you're
you know I
like,
need to
okay.
replace your entire engine?
Yeah,
We
it's
can
only
do that. We can-
$9,000.
Yeah.
You want to put that on a credit card?
We
or-
can do that. When do you want us to do it? Right now? Okay.
Now's good.
Yeah.
It'd be convenient for me if I could do it now.
Yeah, I mean, I already got the old engine out. So I figured you were gonna say yes.
You don't want me to
so-
put it back in, do you?
Yeah, you're gonna be here for 3 days.
Well, that's gonna be $8,000 since it's already out. So you might as well just bite the bullet. Yeah.
What a deal!
Yeah. Well, that's a really sad story.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
that
thanks
was
a lot,
great.
man.
Thanks,
I was
JP.
waiting for like the
Happy
funny
Cinco de
twist
Mayo.
at the end. But
No,
it's
no,
just
there's
sad.
no funny
The
twist.
funny
yeah.
twist is the kid's dead. That's
It
not
was-
funny at all.
Oh no, it was just
Yeah, that's
dude. I just
awful.
thought it was very obscure
Wow.
that you would go after an innocent person essentially.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That's so dumb. you like that one? I'm not being serious.
It's not.
And we're back.
All right. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
fooled you.
That was definitely not your fault.
It seemed like a story that you
Just
were
when
gonna,
you thought it wasn't a funny story.
Yeah, you were expecting something at the end, and then it was just sad.
Just
My
sad.
other story I had that got
Like,
nixed was
okay,
about a
is it done?
coyote in Plano, and we're not going to
Don't-
go there.
no,
so-
Oh God.
Coyote in Plano.
Oh my God.
Went on a
Wow.
bit of a rampage.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He put on a- just a bit of a rampage.
Killing people news stories, no big deal.
Yeah, all right.
Was that coyote driving that car?
The coyote
That
was
coyote hates people.
he was the owner of the car.
Was this in Plano?
He set him
That
up.
motherfucker.
He cut the brakes. It wasn't even the transmission.
Well, obviously the coyote can't drive like standard. Duh.
He's out there in the parking lot, like biting off the brake line. That's how coyotes
They should look
sound.
into suing that coyote.
Okay, yeah, sue that coyote.
Yeah,
I want
seems-
fuck
justice.
that coyote.
I want justice now.
Breaking news:
This is just vengeance at a certain point.
the coyote's dead.
No.
As of today, as of
Good.
this morning.
What is wrong with
Okay,
you?
well now I'm curious about the story. No,
Yeah.
this coyote's dead.
Oh, yeah, and the coyote's supposed to be dead. That's a good thing, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
fair
All right. Is that, yeah, I'm not going to finish the story.
enough. don't.
Two depressing stories.
Yeah, take some pictures.
Oh,
yeah, if
yeah,
you wouldn't
I'll
mind, that'd be awesome.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Don't think you did it. I was like, oh wow, all right, cool.
Yeah, look at me go.
Just extreme close-ups.
Yeah. Josiah's still
Extreme close up. Whoa.
Josiah's still not in today, which is unfortunate. We miss Josiah.
Yeah, we miss you, DJ.
Yeah.
Love you, buddy.
Yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back. He's just not able to be here right now. So
Yeah,
it's
just
all,
personal matters.
all
stuff.
good.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. So the next one is I wanted to transition to the beer story, or it's not really even a story. It was more of a conversation that I wanted to have, and it'd be a good way of talking about false idol as well.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
Okay, well then go ahead with yours. No, so I read an article in Brewers Mag today about how the first quarter revenue of 2022 is in line with the first quarter revenue of 2019, so pre-pandemic. So it's looking like everything's kind of trending back to the way it was, which, if you're not aware, from 2009 until the beginning of 2020, craft beer was an insane industry, just constantly moving up over and over again. Obviously, with the pandemic that hurt everybody, but the beer industry was not taken out of that conversation at all. We were all definitely hurt in that, but we're now trending back to where we were, which was 2019, and that's really, really exciting, I think, for all of us. And so,
yeah, of course.
We're trending back with wait a minute. Increased costs.
that's the biggest
Oh,
issue.
So
I
that's
mean,
like
cost
the
double-edged sword.
right. Costs have gone up for us. We were talking about the other day. All of our costs on packaging materials and ingredients have now gone up about 16.5% across the board.
It's almost 17.
It is.
I do it every time.
Almost 17.
That is almost 17.
That's almost
actually.
30%.
Yeah.
I'm good at math.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh
Ask
my
anybody.
God.
I'm the math guy around here.
Ask him. He'll tell you.
This guy knows numbers. Josh, what's almost 19? 18.
Damn.
Boom.
Damn, dog. 18 and a half. Shit.
That's why he's here.
Got any more brain busters? But regardless, with that in mind, False Idol opened in the pandemic.
We did, yeah.
What month was it?
Well, that's a hard question to answer.
Oh, sorry.
How much time do you have? So, without totally derailing it, to answer his question, I will say that we started brewing in like April or May
Mhm.
of 2020.
Ugh.
Started selling beer to go in May. At the time we weren't able to open because of all the lockdowns and everything. So we just had like a table by our front door, and people could just come pick up beer. Just beer to go and cans, and that was it. And then in I believe it was August, we were able to open our tap room
Okay.
at 50% capacity.
Mhm.
So that's why our kind of anniversary is kind of floating a little bit. Last year we had it in June, and this year
Right.
we're going to have it in May, to try to have it not be quite so hot. But yeah, so when we opened is that it's
Right.
it is summer
That's fair. Yeah.
2020.
All right.
When you were selling beer versus when you were able to have people in the
Yeah,
tap room.
yeah, because I mean, there's a
Right.
big difference.
Of course.
I mean, people couldn't experience like the ambiance of or the atmosphere, I guess, of
Right.
like the tap room we were creating until August.
Yeah. I mean, that's tough, but for sure, what were you guys projecting whenever you started pre-pandemic? What were the projections, and where do you see that big shift now? I mean, I know for us, when all of our trends that we were going through at the beginning of 2020 was we had all these plans to travel to a bunch of different festivals around the country. We even had one in Spain that we
What?
were supposed to go to.
Wow,
Um,
that sounds amazing.
España, Barcelona.
Barcelona.
We had a couple of things positioned to go to the UK, and I think one of our favorite ones is we were going to be representing the Dallas Cowboys at the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, at a big thing that they had going on there.
Wow.
And obviously all of that just got shut down.
Then they
A
found
lot
out
of
about
sorrow
that.
came.
Then the Cowboys found out. They were like,
Like,
no.
Oh, we should really lean into this pandemic thing.
You guys can't do that.
We asked for Celestial. What the fuck?
Ah, shit. They're in Dallas.
But no, so we, canceling all of that. And even though, we still made it through the pandemic and everything, it definitely put us back a year and a half from, I think, what we were hopeful about getting to. And now that we're kind of seeing this trend of back to end of 2019 into 2020, the growth, being fairly similar to there, we're really excited, but it's kind of like starting over new now,
Okay.
almost.
Yeah.
Just because you couldn't go out and do a whole bunch of stuff. You couldn't make a lot of friendships unless you had them already.
Mhm.
You have
So I mean,
friends?
for you guys, it's definitely easier because you've been in the industry for a long time.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, technically yes, but not locally.
Right. Absolutely.
So it was a weird kind of introduction to the DFW market for me because, I was brewing in Oklahoma City and I was brewing in Denver and Colorado Springs. And then this is my first time being in the brewing industry in Dallas Fort Worth. And then the pandemic happened. And so it was like we moved here like January of 2020 and we started getting going on the brewery and, construction was going strong. And then the pandemic happened and it was like, well, okay, well, I guess we'll keep pushing forward. This is all uncharted territory for everyone. Nobody knew
Right.
what was going to happen or nobody even knew what a lockdown was because that had
Oh,
never
when's the last time-
happened
When's the last time
in
that
our
happened in my
lifetimes.
lifetime? Yeah.
no, yeah, I don't
that
think-
happened in 100 years.
Yeah. So we didn't really know. We just assumed, oh, it's probably going to blow over. It's going to be nothing. We'll just keep going. And it didn't blow over. I mean, it's starting to 2 years later, but
Right.
point being, we didn't know. So we just kept on plugging away and, we got the doors open. And so we didn't really have our expectations kind of went out the window to a large degree.
Mm-hmm.
Once the pandemic happened, we were just like, okay, well, we just got to do whatever we can to get beer out the door and to get beer sold. And so we started diversifying ourselves and started, we started finding this balance between, because, Dom and Brandon came from a craft beer distributor locally. And so we knew we had that resource to send beer to,
Mm.
in addition to what we couldn't sell in the tap room. And so our kind of numbers weren't really set in stone because in terms of like barrelage that we would sell, because we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know what was, because if you don't remember, all bars were shut down, but growler bars fell under a weird law.
Mhm.
Right.
And they were able to still sell. So we still continued to sell draft beer, just not on premise. It was all just like exclusively growler bars.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
I was buying your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Mhm. Not personally.
No, not with my money. It's somebody else's money.
Never my money.
Not today. Well, yeah, no, it's such a. I mean, already opening up any kind of business, but especially, craft beer. I mean, it's always scary. You never know what the outreach is going to be like, what the consumer in the area is going to be like, especially you guys opening up in North Richland Hills, which is right down the road from us.
Yeah.
It's very residential. We're not.
It is.
It's not.
It's not a hot spot. There's not really foot traffic in any way. Shape,
No,
or form.
zero.
No,
unless
you're
you have
coming to
unless you have people
Falsidle or you're
walking
going
their
to Turning
dog
Point,
in
or
their
you're going to
neighborhood.
Brutal.
Yeah. I mean, it's a destination through and through. We're behind a tiny little car lot. You're not going to accidentally find us. But with the power of the internet and social media and all that stuff, we were able to kind of get the word out and get a little bit of buzz going and at least getting people aware that we existed, which I think was the biggest thing was, there's so many people here and
It's the worst, isn't it?
just at least getting False Idol on people's radar
Yeah.
as like, well, what do you want to do this Friday night? Well, I heard about False Idol. Let's drive over there.
Go over there.
At least they
Where's
knew
it at?
about it.
North
Yeah,
Richland
exactly.
Hills? I don't even know where that sounds
Yeah.
far.
What is that? Yeah.
It's only 15 minutes. Oh, it's too far.
But
How
I mean,
close is that to South Richland?
I mean,
Hills?
think about how many people.
It's right next door, actually.
Yeah. But I mean, think about how many people live in all these apartments right down 26
yeah,
that have no idea we exist because we don't have a giant billboard in front of our building. The city
No,
won't
of
let us
course.
do that. We already tried.
yeah.
And so or sign whatsoever. So if we could have some sort of signage, it would help. But there's so many people that drive past us that have no idea we're there.
clue.
So
They're going to Chuck E. Cheese, man.
yeah, I mean,
It's literally
they have
like
better
That's some
signs than we
damn
do.
good pizza,
ski
bro.
Ball, ski ball.
Dude,
I always like the one
skee-ball.
the light that went around that you had to stop in the middle of the two.
Okay, the winding snake one. That was great.
That was a good one.
Yeah. So yeah. Sorry, I kind of went on a little rabbit trail there.
No, perfect.
Oh,
We're a big fan of the rabbit trail.
I got
Okay,
something for
good.
you, by the way.
Yeah.
I have been meaning to compliment somebody, one of y'all, for since people were able to open up again. Y'all were like everyone was like anyone when was like y'all are able to come in. I think RAR was doing it. Or there's a couple local breweries that were like, yeah, we have seating inside, and like everyone that was all. I mean, the pandemic was an actual thing, but people will get real pissed off. They're like, that's so inconsiderate. Like people are gonna get COVID. You're not being smart about this whole thing. Y'all just opened up and didn't tell anybody. And I was so happy about it because y'all just had people come in and like, yeah, y'all can sit inside. And then like nobody ever shit on y'all because
Okay,
you
so
didn't say anything
Will's
about
it's
it.
a weird situation because our building is an old loop shop, like an old quick car or mechanic shop or something. So we have one side of the building is all bay doors. And so because of that, we were able to have the doors open, which made people a lot more comfortable to have
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
airflow and stuff
Yeah,
like that. 'Cause
circulation.
especially early on, nobody knew how you got COVID. Exactly.
I mean, originally it was on surfaces. and
yeah,
then they're
remember the
like,
gas
oh, wait,
pump
it
thing? You
can't-
wear the
yeah.
gloves,
Oh,
and
my
there's a
gosh.
whole bunch of different things. And so,
So many
nobody really
rules.
knew what was what. Keep these separated in your mind.
Yeah.
I'll walk you guys through
Okay.
these. And so, we kind of quietly opened, and we were able to open before most places were able to open around us because my understanding is that, and this is I'm on the production side, so I don't really know all this 100%, but I believe that we were planning to be a brew pub when we opened. So we had the appropriate license for that. And whenever the laws got all weird and they said, okay, well, certain business can be open during, this state of emergency, you had to have certain license. And so we were able to open because we already had the license to have food, even though we didn't have food. And so a lot of other people, I believe yourself included, correct me if I'm wrong, had to kind of reclassify the license. And
We
so
did.
we were
yeah.
able to open. So there was I want to say 2 or 3 weeks that we were the only brewery in the area that was open. And it was the first time we were open ever. So
And that was August of 2020.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
sounds right. Yeah.
So
It was awesome,
It was a
though.
weird time.
I was so proud of y'all because
Yeah.
you avoided all. I saw many breweries open and get shit on for opening.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like,
It's funny that you say that because
hey, we're open now.
This is the first time I heard it. Yeah, we were very
Yeah.
quiet. We didn't have any sort of grand opening because we didn't want to draw a big crowd or a crowd at all. We wanted to just the people that wanted our beer we wanted to kind of let them know that we were open if they wanted to come have it, but we didn't want a big crowd because we didn't want to have like a super spreader event. At
Right,
It's
right.
at the start of
Yeah.
our business,
Yeah, that's not the kind of publicity, especially as
Yeah.
as sensitive and how polarizing that whole issue is. You don't want to.
Oh,
I mean, I know for us, we're like, we'll just whatever. We're not
Tread
doing
very
anything.
lightly.
Well, speaking of that, we had our anniversary. It was like the last event before the lockdown.
I remember this. Yeah.
So there was a period where on a Friday they went down to any mass gathering had to drop down to 250, and then by Sunday there was no mass gatherings allowed, and our anniversary was on a Saturday. And so we were having the clicker out there to 250 that we were totally paying 100% attention to.
There were no guests that weren't like there's a 250 paid
249 every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
I was guest 240.
Yeah.
I was there. I remember this. That was fun.
Oh, and
It was
rained
fun.
a
It was
little
the
bit.
last time we all got to like hang out and have a good time for a
And
while.
then I remember vividly you saying this. You were like, "Well, I guess this is the big hurrah before we all like lock down and
at
can't
that-
see each other."
Yeah, at that point it's like, well, we're not gonna be able to see each other for 2 weeks, so we might as well hang out now.
2
Yeah.
weeks.
I saw him the
You
next.
didn't know.
I saw him the
We
next
could slow
week.
the spread.
Yeah, totally slowed down.
I really enjoyed my 2 months off. By the way,
Oh
that was
yeah,
a lot
who
of fun.
didn't thrive in that situation? I don't have to go anywhere.
You can watch the Brady Bunch again.
Yeah, season,
Yeah.
season
He
3.
just watched the Brady
season
Bunch
3,
the other
episode
day.
1 through 3.
He was talking about some weird
The
episode.
Brady Bunch?
Yes.
Yeah, I grew up on reruns, man. I'm
60
old.
years
We
old.
all did.
Yeah.
The Brady Bunch was
Dude.
airing when we were kids.
Yeah.
Well, I guess when did that?
I mean,
pretty-
not
I'm
on,
pretty
like,
close.
TV
How old are
land,
you?
yeah.
I'm 37, so yeah. I mean, for
31,
me, I grew up with
37.
Brady Bunch, Love Boat,
Yeah. I don't know Love Boat.
Leave It to Beaver,
Whoa.
Yeah.
Andy,
Love
Gri-
Boat,
Ed- Andy
yeah.
Griffith Show.
Okay, no
Yeah,
one grew up
yeah.
during Andy Griffith.
Well, no, but
Classic.
dude,
Not even Andy.
Wait, you didn't grow up during Andy
No,
Griffith?
I'm
No,
saying
no,
that was
no.
like
Not
the
old.
that was like the reruns that were
Yeah.
played,
Like Happy
it was-
Days.
Yeah,
I
That was
loved
after-
Happy
oh,
Days.
dude,
That was Ron
Happy
Howard,
Days?
right?
Yeah,
The kid?
yeah.
Yeah.
What's the
Henry Winkler.
the Hollywood
Yeah.
the like country
The
people that
Fonz.
live in Hollywood?
Beverly Hillbillies.
Yes.
Oh, that was a good
so
show.
good.
Yeah,
Beverly
that was a good
Hillbillies was
show.
great.
Yeah.
I can't think of Beverly Hillbillies without thinking of Weird Al and
Bubbling
UHF.
Cruise.
Oh yeah,
Anyways,
Oh, that
I can't think of Leave It to Beaver without that Chappelle sketch.
dude, oh my god.
Well, what are we drinking here?
So okay,
we got a couple beers.
Let me walk you guys through this.
Yeah. Also, thank you for bringing beers. You're the first guest that we've had since Travis that actually brought beer.
All of our other guests are assholes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey.
For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow.
Well, I brought beers the first time I was here on that
Well,
lost episode.
No one knows about that.
Well, I brought a beer.
No, you brought you
Oh,
you brought
brought
that
mead.
10,
You brought
the
mead.
10-year Tilquin Goose,
Yeah.
but he also
Yeah.
brought the mead.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
The meads
are
I
great.
should have brought
Key
mead
lime
this
pie,
time.
was
right?
huge.
And
Sorry,
then one
I
more.
forgot to
Oh,
bring
I'm so
And
embarrassed.
the orange blossom.
Two barrel aged
Or
stouts
the-
in a hazy
You
IPA are
brought
probably
the key
enough.
lime.
Yeah.
That was
You
so
remember it?
good.
One of our brewers, Wes,
Yeah.
today was like, "Hey man, you've been helping me out so much lately. Like, I want to reward you or give you something as a thank you." And I was like, "Cool." And he makes mead,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh,
They're
bring me-
good too.
Bring me that key lime one. That one was good." And he just kind of looked at me and was like,
We don't talk about that.
I haven't even done that. What are you talking?" I was like, "Oh wait, remind me which ones you made." And then I was like, "Oh, it was
Oh,
he made
no.
like a peanut butter banana one that was delicious, but it was your key lime. I
Yeah,
got
that's
confused.
right.
You're a real piece of shit. You know
I have to
that?
go apologize because I looked at him. I was like, "Yeah, the key."
Hey, it's me, the exact same person that was just talking. Thank y'all so much for the continued support and feedback. For those of you that didn't know, we all work at Turning Point Beer, right smack dab between Dallas and Fort Worth. And we've got some shit to tell you about. For the entire month of May, when you buy a full case of 4-packs, that case is 20% off. We could have done 10 or 15%, but we're masochists and hate making money. We also have our PJ brunch party with delicious brunch delights from Winnie's Foodstuffs on May 22nd and Glitter and Gold, our adult prom on May 28th. Check out the events on Facebook, hit that ever-important going button, and don't you dare miss it. If you do, your life will immediately get worse, probably. Thanks again for everything. Follow us on all streaming platforms and social media sites, and keep being you beautiful pile of delicious.
Do you know which one is?
So the first one I poured was Karloff. I'm assuming that's how you say it.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know how to
Boris?
own-
All right,
own-
so I'll give you the rundown on this situation. We're releasing both of these barrel aged stouts tomorrow.
Woo.
So these
Which will be a
were-
week old
last week.
at this point. Yeah,
They'll
last
be
week,
gone.
last
Sorry
Friday.
about it.
No,
The sixth.
Sold
we'll
out.
probably still have them. I mean, there's not a ton of it, but we'll probably still have them.
How many cases y'all do?
5 of each.
Nice. Wow.
So fairly
Ooh,
small.
love
They're
that.
single barrel, right? So
Okay.
so the whole thing is it's the same beer in 2 different barrels. And so they're
Cool.
kind of meant to be drank together, which is why we're able to do that now. And
Karloff and
so
Onibaba.
the one on your the first one you were handed is an E.H. Taylor barrel, and the other one's a Blanton's barrel.
Ooh.
And so this stout, disregard what the label says. The stout was tested and went into the barrel at 16%. So
went into the barrel
Oh,
at
went
16?
into the barrel.
so
it's-
Have you tested it
So is
post
it
barrel?
Not
it's
yet.
16.5%.
I assume it's,
It's at
17.
least 16.9%.
Oh my gosh.
16.9.
It's a beefy
lot of
beer,
nines.
and
How long did it sit in the barrel for?
15 months.
It's like 19%.
So
Well, by
No,
my
it's
math,
not.
it's only
Hey.
16.999.
Plus
So
999.
it's a beefy, and like at this point they're
beefy.
probably pretty warm.
Ooh,
so
it smells
like
great,
you're gonna
though.
get a lot of heat, and there's
Oh,
a lot
I
of
can't
alcohol
wait.
All right,
sweetness, but
wait.
it's a
Ooh,
funny. I thought it.
cheers.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having
for
me.
saying this. Is
Thanks
the
for bringing
Taylor
these,
one?
man.
Yeah. So it's a fun experiment to just like kind of taste the difference between the barrels.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
That's fucking
Oh.
delicious.
So like nothing's in it at all. And I mean, you get a lot of alcohol heat.
So,
That's delicious.
It's not that boozy. I mean, if I wouldn't guess it's 19%.
yeah.
The TABC
So-
might though.
They have to get their hands on it first.
TABC, never heard of her.
Oh.
Also, it's not going out in market.
Yeah,
Fuck
no,
it, who
that's
cares?
fine. No.
But no, okay, so tell me this. The base beer that you did,
Yeah.
is it a Russian Imperial Stout, just straight Imperial Stout? What,
I wouldn't say Russian. I mean, it's not that hoppy. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
usually make my stouts to about 40 IBUs.
Okay.
So nothing crazy.
Yeah.
This one, I believe, was like 33 and a half Play-Doh starting.
Okay.
And I hit it with some glucoamylase. So kind of, it dried it out to, don't catch me lying. I want to say it was like seven Play-Doh.
I was going to say, if you hit 16% going into the barrel from 33, that has to at least be like 6 to 7.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Play-Doh.
mean, it dropped it down pretty good. And I'm a little apprehensive on formulas for the ABV calculations, especially when they get really high. But this was tested by a lab that ran it through an alkalizer, and it was 16% before we put it into the barrel. So
Yeah.
JP already finished
That's
the first
awesome.
one.
Smoke
With
it.
like 1 or 2 sips and he's done.
It's so good.
I thought it was.
really
I thought
good.
it was absolutely fantastic.
The,
I don't get a lot of the heat.
All right, so here, let's
It's
try
not
the.
as
I want
much
to try
as
the
that.
Blanton's one.
I feel like you get like a
JP, try them side by side. Oh,
Oh.
Oh, I've never heard that before.
wow.
Easy on the. Okay.
Oh,
I feel
You know
like,
what's crazy? So the last few, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
go ahead.
the last few barrel aged releases that we've done, they've all been Blanton's,
Oh,
and I
cool.
get that character a lot. Like that Blanton's character is so strong. It is.
it's got a strong
Dominant.
flavor, and
It's
but it's
honestly
kind of a
like-
weird soft finish though.
I
It
feel
is
like
delicate.
super soft.
The E.H. Taylor has quite a bit more heat, I feel
Mhm.
like. And there's like a cool woodiness to the Blanton barrel.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
it
just
is.
unique.
Not there
It's
in the
got
other
that
one.
very hard, like vanilla oak kind of character, like the soft vanilla,
Yeah.
strong wood, but not like that kind of weird almond wood character that you can get sometimes.
No,
if it's
more like a strong wood.
I'm sorry, what?
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 yeah. So no, it's just it's very soft. Like I mean, it's a strong flavor, but it's almost like a sweetness.
Yeah, and
As it
like,
kinda comes off.
You know, I've had stouts a lot of different ways, and I know that like, you know, the people really into beer and these hype breweries are into making these stouts a certain way, and like those are fun and to a certain respect, but I think it's fun to make a beer. I'm more interested in making a beer that's big and barrel forward that you don't ever like you can drink.
There's no
it.
question, right?
It's not like a 3 or 4 ounces, and you're like, God, it's so sweet. I can't.
Oh,
drink it
Right,
anymore."
like the
Yeah.
hardcore pastry
Because
stuff.
because
Not
like
for me.
that's how things are like trending a lot these days, and like we definitely like dabble in that arena as well. But it's fun. This was a total like I came to one of the owners and I was like, hey, I got a couple barrels. I don't want to put anything in them, and they're ready. And he's like, okay, next month. I was like, great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, that was
And
easy.
so yeah, I mean that's what this is, and yeah, there's no frills. It's just a showcase of the barrel, and I love that we were able to do them side by side because I think it's a cool educational portion for myself and for everyone else that doesn't get to pull nails.
Right.
They can see like what this is the same beer in 2 different barrels, and you can see exactly that barrels. I mean, you can tell that they're similar, but the barrel itself definitely like 2 different barrels creates 2 different products.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
undeniably.
What I really love about that, and something that we've talked about doing going forward with our releases, is when we release whatever we're gonna do, like adjunct, blah blah blah, all that, releasing like a small amount of the base beer post carb before we add any kind of the adjuncts for it to condition on. So you can go, hey, here's the base beer. So you try that if you want to, buy as much of the other one that you want to. But if you want to try what we call finished here, and what we decided was the best beer for these adjuncts, you can do that. And I always think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
being able to try, like, okay, how did they come to this conclusion? Like, we're about to come out with a beer we've brewed it a bunch of times called Oedipus Complex. It's an oatmeal stout that we put peanut butter into.
Yeah, okay.
And growing up, the only dessert I really liked at all, like, because I learned how to make it, so it's the only thing I really liked because I could make it, was no-bake cookies.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And the first time I mashed it in, just the malt bill and everything smelled exactly like the kitchen in my parents' house whenever I was cooking that deal. So I was like, oh, we got to put peanut butter in here
Yeah.
and make it this. And like ever since then, anytime we brew that, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, dude. That
That's
is
awesome.
the no-bake
Yeah.
cookies. But like that's what's so cool. Like if you try these base beers and you go, okay, this too will at False Idol is what this is the beer finished at this point. It's not adjuncted, but he's not going to pull anything earlier than this. So this, to me, tells what kind of brewer you are, I think. Like, if you're not getting that character, well, I don't really know how much I trust you going forward, right? But tasting this, you're getting all these awesome notes. I mean, the beer is completely finished. It's delicious, but the oak character, the barrel character, everything is so well melded.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah, and like it's really fun. I mean, barrel aging is exciting and infuriating at the same time because like you do all this work and I don't know. I think that a lot of it's lost on the consumer.
Oh, yeah.
because they're not there the whole time. But we are, and so we fill the barrels and we taste them, and then we're like, oh man, it's tasting terrible. Oh,
Mhm.
we try it 3 months later, you're like, oh god, it's so hot. It's really really fusel. And the life of the barrel, and I mean, having done it for 10 years at this point, there's definitely like a pattern of like development that takes place in the barrel. And so it was interesting. The first time we drilled holes in barrels at False Idol, 2 of the owners were there, and I was like, okay, here you go, taste this. We're 6 months in, and I could just see the disappointment on their face.
It's
And they were
good.
like,
How
"Oh."
far in was the aging
Like,
at that
it was
point?
like 6 months.
Okay, so when do you start tasting? Is it at 6 months?
At this point, I typically don't taste till like 10 to 12 months.
Yeah,
Because
that's
like, why would I waste my time?
yeah. Why am I wasting?
I
the
know it's not
liquid?
going to be ready. So
Yeah, we're not going to use them now, are we?
yeah.
The only time, like, we do the same thing. I'll drill one hole at 6 months off of a batch. Like, so
Yeah.
if we have 4 to 8 barrels coming off of each batch, I wait at least 6 months to do one just to make sure there's no funny business going on in it.
Mhm.
And then after that, it's like, I mean, why even worry about it till a year?
Yeah, you're just wasting time. I mean, I haven't pulled a barrel under 14 months since I've been here, which is interesting because in Oklahoma, 12 months was kind of the sweet spot, and in Colorado, it was even less.
I mean, I've seen
Sea level, maybe?
I think that elevation played a role.
Makes sense.
I've seen 4 months. I've seen 3 months. Breweries
seen-
like
Well,
all
but,
tech.
I mean, you're talking
I've seen
like,
kissed a barrel.
I see. It was it went into a barrel, then immediately filtered into the tank.
There's a barrel nearby.
just a barrel without like
It's the LaCroix of barrel aged beers.
Barrel aged LaCroix. That's a fucking genius idea.
No, it's
Oh
not.
well, the barrel aged seltzer's a thing.
See?
Oh, get
exists?
the
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, like in a gin barrel, I guess I could see something like that. Something
No,
or rum.
I got friends in Oklahoma that did a bourbon barrel pumpkin spice latte seltzer,
Ugh.
Jeez.
and it sounds crazy,
Yes,
but
it
it
does.
happened and people bought it. I don't know how it tasted, but
I
Yeah.
do want to say we had a question from the audience. Believe it or not,
ooh, the peanut gallery.
the
over
peanut
here.
gallery.
All right.
And this is our good friend AJ. He's our AV guy, and he's the best. And he has a
Hey.
question about barrel.
He has an
aged beers.
acronym for a name, so it works out really well.
That's great.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
long-time listener, first-time caller. So, question.
Wait, bring him closer to the
Yeah,
mic.
get closer to the mic.
I'm
There
so
you go.
sorry.
You don't have to
Get
cup
up
it.
on there.
Just get somewhat
Don't
close.
cup it.
Question about barrel aged.
Okay.
So, with bourbon, obviously, the higher the, I guess, barrel on the, what am I talking about? Area,
Right.
the more it expands and contrasts. So the better quality bourbon you get. So that's why the top shelf of the bourbons are
Oh,
more
okay.
expensive. A single batch, blah 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 blah. Is that the same thing with beer, or is it totally different?
You're talking about like the breathability of
Yeah.
like like where the barrel is sat essentially.
because
Like the elevation of it, like in the rack?
in Kentucky, because of the weather and things like that. It
Right.
expands, contracts, and then that gives you more of the flavor of the small batch, all this stuff. The higher the barrel, the more prestigious, I guess, for lack of better words.
It gets
the
touched by
barrel-aged.
elements more and things like that. We're
Exactly.
talking about indoor aging, so not really as much for us.
Can you do that though?
I mean, but it's a thing too.
Not in Texas. I wouldn't. I mean, with bourbon, it doesn't really matter because you're talking about like white lightning at that point. Like the liquid itself is, it's all determined by the barrel character. Talking about beer is a lot more delicate than that liquid going into the barrel.
It's certainly more delicate, and it's a lot. I mean, you're not aging beer for 8 years. In
Yeah.
barrels,
Right.
Like you are whiskey,
For
right?
sure, I get that.
My personal belief, and no offense to fly in the face of what you just said, but I do think that the rack placement and the height of the barrel does play a role. I don't think it's definitely not nearly as significant as with bourbon, but I mean I've noticed barrels sitting at the top. Just and honestly, it has to do with airflow.
Sure.
So heat rises, so things at the top are going to be warmer than the things at the bottom. Because even if you got a 3 or 4 barrel rack, like you're talking like what, like 15, 20 feet? Not 20 feet, but
Sure. Is your AC in the bottom or the top?
our,
Oh, you're
our
in-
AC is not in that room.
Oh, okay. Well, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, like our AC goes from the top. So
yeah,
with that,
I mean
it's
ours does
fluctuate-
too, but the
so-
room that it's in has
has no
airflow.
AC. Yeah, so I mean, like I said, like being outdoor versus indoor is going to be a different thing. If you're, especially in Texas, if you're not in an, ventilated or AC, controlled room,
Mhm.
then yeah, obviously I think that would play a much different role. But I mean, all of our stuff is all indoors. It's all temperature controlled. Humidity is all the same. So for us,
Yeah.
I mean, if we
Well-
were to keep a rack of barrels, the difference of 3 feet off the ground and 11 feet off the ground, it would take 15 years, I think, to notice a difference
Yeah.
for the way that ours is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that our humidity is all over the map at False Idol because we open our bay doors when the weather's fairly decent. So the brewery gets pretty warm when we have the bay doors open. And so I think that adding that big burst of heat during the day and then cooling down at the night, and then the next day rolls around and they open the doors back up and we're spiking 15, 20 degrees in the tap room for 10, 12 hours, and then we're cooling down at night. I think that there's a lot more breathability. And so I feel like I could be totally wrong, but I feel like our setup might influence that kind of thing a little bit more.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
honestly,
I'm agreeing with
I'm,
that.
I'm
yeah.
envious of your climate stability because I would prefer it that way. I would prefer it to be a lot more steady.
You get a little bit more, I guess, just consistency.
Yeah.
Whenever you can do that. But no, I agree. Like, I didn't mean to say like, oh yeah, no, that's never the case in breweries. No, but if it is that situation where you do have a different fluctuation of humidity, temperature, yeah. I mean, I don't know the whole sea level thing. We're talking about 10 feet. I don't really. That seems
Not much.
What do you mean to you?
doesn't see. Yeah,
It's
I'm,
almost,
sorry, I'm just saying I don't think. Like
not
the
as-
difference of sea level of 10 feet is really going to make a whole lot of difference. Now,
within the
some
same
ricks
room?
in Kentucky, I mean, are
so
5 floors.
Yeah.
Well,
tall,
I
you
mean,
know,
I was
so-
thinking based on my fairly limited knowledge about. Well, honestly, the most interesting thing is this this research about Bedonia. Are you familiar with Bedonia?
No, sir.
never.
Drop
So
some knowledge.
Bedonia is a mold and a fungus that grow. Well, I don't know if it's a fungus that grows on the outside of rick houses and on barrels.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
At barrels in certain elevations within the rick houses
Oh.
in Kentucky. And like I said, I have very limited knowledge of this, but this fungus grows on the barrels and on the brick on the outside of the building in Kentucky. And so, Goose Island did an experiment with aging a beer in these same barrels that had this Bedonia growing on it.
Oh.
And I was able to have it back in
Oh.
2013 because it was a draft only thing when I went up to Chicago.
Cool.
And I mean, it was the closest beer I ever tasted to rare.
Wow.
Which
Oh,
is
wow.
a very unique character if you ever had rare.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
sure you
great.
did.
Yeah.
Especially
that's
back
fantastic.
then.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
so it was just like a mellowness that didn't exist in all the other barrels.
Interesting.
And so I think that specifically definitely plays a role, but knowing that knowledge, which is not much, I really should look into it more. I just haven't.
Get your hands on some Bedonia.
Yeah,
Or
right.
maybe if you can't find that, get some begonias.
Hey, that's pretty close.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, it's a really fascinating idea. And I know some breweries in Chicago that are now rotating barrel stock in elevation
Whoa.
every 3 months,
Just to make sure they all get that even kind
a
of.
more homogenous
Yeah.
flavor, I guess, if you will.
That's really, really interesting.
That's
Yeah.
actually
Well,
pretty
maybe
cool.
that'll be something we'll mess with. Well, I mean, for us, I guess, again, it doesn't really matter because we're in the humid and temperature controlled
Forklift
space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're not
Forklift
Try-
side of
like,
propane.
very
maybe
different. Yeah.
based on the barrels, talking to the barrel broker, like, hey, wherever these barrels sitting, because that's what I want to.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a huge portion of what Buffalo Trace does, right? It's like they have
Mhm.
3 or
And-
4 mash bills, and
Well-
all of their different brands are just barrels stored in different places.
Different places.
Right, and like they will do that. They have like the little wheel that they'll mix throughout the year and change up the different areas that they stay in, so they kind of get an influx in every area of different barrels throughout the year.
Dude,
It's
what a
wild.
nerve-wracking job to just move.
I
barrels
want
around.
nothing to do
Oh,
that. with
yeah.
that,
Could you
yeah.
imagine?
Oh, yeah.
No.
You have to have zero anxiety
That's
to
a
do
hard
that
pass.
job. But no,
Yeah.
it's funny too, like how just different barrels react. Like right now we have like 160 different barrels, whether they're sour,
That's
stout,
almost 161.
Wow.
Numbers.
That's
It really-
roughly 100.
Holy shit, it is.
That's right.
That's like
I know.
140 more than me.
Well, but so we're about to release. We do a barrel aged beer called In Game, and in fact,
Yes.
it'll be coming out this Saturday once this episode releases.
I know the brand. What's the adjuncts in this one?
It's just vanilla beans and chocolate. Just vanilla and chocolate.
Ooh,
So-
yeah.
Yeah, so just cacao nibs and vanilla beans, and we do like 5 pounds of vanilla beans for 3 barrels of beer. So
Josh and I
That's
have
a lot of money.
have a side.
that's a lot of money. So what we did a little bit different this year though is we have the we're doing a bourbon variant, right? And it's Knob Creek and Buffalo Trace.
Cool.
And then we're also doing a second variant a week later with just rum barrels.
Oh, it's the week later.
Oh,
okay.
killer.
I thought that was
Yeah.
the same
Well,
time.
you guys are getting most of your barrels from River Drive, correct?
Now we are. Yeah. Or so I go back and forth between River Drive and Midwest.
Okay.
We were doing Northeast for a little bit.
Mhm.
We
But
haven't used them at all.
it turns out I think they're owned by What's the other really big broker that like usually gets shit rum barrels from with like head bungs and shit?
Oh.
There's a bigger
Rocky Mountain.
no
Country roads.
Oh, I remember. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I don't want to like shit on
Okay,
anybody,
yeah.
but it was another bigger conglomerate, and they were getting kind of like the bad
The bottom
barrel,
of the barrel.
and
barrels.
this company already kind of didn't have a great selection
Okay.
of barrels. So it just got worse and worse. But then River Drive, Rocky Mountain, and the Midwest guys, they've all been awesome.
Okay.
In fact, the Midwest, I don't know if you've used them before.
Yeah, I've used them a lot. Yeah.
They get like really cool, like 12-year Elijah Craig.
Yeah, we've gotten some of those barrels.
Yeah, I have a couple, or we have 8-year. We haven't gotten 12 yet.
We've done a handful of Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Broker.
Yeah.
And,
Oh.
I mean, it's
Oh no,
kinda,
you guys hooked me up with them. That's all. They get nothing but cool shit.
they
all
get
the
really
time.
cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, the shipping situation's kind of a pain in the ass, but
Yeah.
like the barrels are such high quality.
Yeah.
they're so much
that's,
fresher
That's a
than
big.
They're
That's a
most
big
places,
deal,
though.
though.
Oh yeah,
it's huge.
and they ink them too, which is really cool. Where they put like the date
Ah.
of whenever they put everything on
Love
there.
it.
They have QR codes on there, and you can like send it in, and they can track
Where it
when
came
it was
from.
emptied, when it got shipped, when it arrived, when it got shipped out to
Wow.
you, and like all of it. It's pretty wild.
That's
Like the
really
entire life
sick.
of the barrel is tracked on that QR code. It's pretty
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
It's just, especially shipping now. It's so hard. Like I don't know how many barrels you're doing at a time, but at most we do like 4 anymore. We used to do like 10 or 12
Mhm.
on each run, like once a month. But
Yeah.
now it's like, I mean, we haven't even put beer in barrels in this year. I mean, 6 months probably.
Same here.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if we do, it's like 4 at a time.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah,
like,
yeah, we're two
The
to 4
one
max.
pallet space for 4 barrels, like on a freight container, is just ridiculous right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, it's like $500 in shipping whenever you just paid $600 for 4 barrels.
Oh, it's
It's
stupid.
crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Gee.
I'm sorry for I feel like I hijacked this.
No, you're doing
conversation a
No,
little
I
bit,
think it's
And me
fantastic.
and Alex just kind of locked in and started talking about.
Well,
Well,
like,
we're in love, so
Hey.
it's okay.
I can only talk so much about barrels.
Sorry, JP.
Yeah.
And,
No, you're good, you're good.
Josh.
Y'all
I-
keep talking about wood.
I had a question.
We're
don't know.
so interested in talking
have a
about
very-
We're so
wood.
I have a
interested.
very easy question
Yeah,
that y'all
yeah,
might
yeah.
or might not know the answer to.
New challenge.
Are those big barrel houses like Heaven Hill, the giant? I mean,
The Rick
Uh-huh.
houses.
Is this
Mhm.
what Rick House? Yeah, the Rick houses. Are those climate controlled or no? Typically,
It depends on who it is. For the most part,
I think there's certain parts of it that are, but most of them
So
are
there's like
natural.
an attic that's like
Most
oh,
of them are pretty natural.
We got our cool barrels up here.
yeah, I mean, it depends. Like some of the more historical guys, like for example, Jack Daniels, Jim Beam,
Okay.
they'll have their reserve stuff. You want to help him out a little bit there?
No, I'm just messing with it. Don't worry. Everything's fine.
Like they'll have their like special reserve stuff that they really take care of, but their other stuff they leave in temperature control because they want the same thing year after, or rather month after month that they're releasing has to be the same. So yeah, that's going to be temperature controlled. The really cool shit from like Buffalo Trace, Heaven Hill, like the really awesome Birmingham. I mean, they're using their terroir. They're using what they have.
Yeah.
and
It's kind of what I
they're
figured.
kind of a lot of times they want these like different exotic flavors
Yeah.
that they're getting. So it really just depends.
Like the
And
begonias.
I see these guys. There's certain breweries
right.
that I guess they pull a lot of weight in the barrel broker business. I'm not sure, but
I
mean,
I see them
Goose
post.
does.
They're
Crazy
like,
stuff.
oh, well, this beer was aged in a blend of George T. Stagg, Thomas H. Handy, and Pappy Van Winkle barrels. I'm like, I've never even seen those for
I know
sale.
exactly what beer you're talking about
Where,
right now.
where are you
and
getting these?
Well, I mean,
and they're like, oh, it's 36-month aged barley
Yeah.
wine. You're
Yes,
like,
yeah.
well, Goose
yeah.
Goose gets like,
like,
the
what?
coolest barrels of anyone. No
Are
one
you-
gets cooler barrels than
Well,
Goose.
okay, so they make sense.
Yeah,
What
of
I'm
course.
talking about
yeah,
is
they're the
not
first ones to
the
do
guys
it.
that have
player.
25,000 barrels a year going to Bourbon County.
Yeah. Yeah, but like this is like
Uh,
a relatively small brewery in comparison to that, especially.
Are they in
They're
the
getting-
Midwest?
Is it a bad thing? I mean,
no,
can't,
they're in
they're-
Southern California.
can you not say the
Okay.
name? Is
You can probably say that
Yeah,
name.
that's right.
They're Taurus.
Yeah.
I've seen Horace post about these barrels.
That's
they
what I
get.
It's all
I'm
about
like,
those connections.
Yeah,
you
how
know?
did they get
connections,
those
connections,
barrels?
connections.
I think
Like,
he's
that's
just a
wild.
really rad dude.
Yeah.
Honestly.
He has to be, right?
Also, like, I think another aspect of it, too, is barrel aging beer is really, it's not a new idea by any means, but it's nothing that's exceptionally sought after by, like, really big breweries.
No, big breweries, no. of
Not
course.
really hard. I mean, the biggest brewery is Founders that does it, and Goose Island, Avery,
Boulevard.
the big
Boulevard,
ones,
sure.
yeah.
But like,
Deschutes.
it's not like that's what their goal is. Like, they have this whole other line of beers, and then they have this one
No,
small
I mean, it's
facet
kind of
that
their
they're doing
fun
that, right?
project, really.
But how
I
much
think.
bourbon is produced, and in bourbon, it's one-time use. That's all you get.
Yeah.
So these guys are trying to offload them. If they can make money off of that too, versus selling it to a third party, it's probably better off. So I know, I mean, Side Project's a great example of like, oh yeah, I got this 18-year Elijah Craig that I'm blending with, 40-year Pappy, and you're like, how the fuck did you get that?
40.
More than likely, he asked.
139.
And that was it. He brought beer to them one day.
Give me their
And
emails.
because
I'll ask. I'll
just
be the
like
ask guy.
just like any brewer, if some guy that made a bourbon came in and said, "Hey, here's some bourbon that I made. I'd love to get whatever product from you to use in this," I'd go, "Fuck yeah, let's go. What are we gonna do?" All it takes at a certain point is to be one of the few or one of the first to ask somebody about it, right?
So I'm gonna
Seems so simple.
go.
Until you have to drive all the way to Kentucky.
Yeah,
and get it.
that's
Don't worry.
right.
I'll
Not
drive.
road.
I'll drive, and I'll email them, and I'll say I'll help you out with math if you give me barrels
Josh.
of beer.
Do you want to know how close 16 is to 17? The closest.
I can tell you, but I'm not telling you now. Show me the barrel first.
How
Yeah,
many
we're
years?
talking here, guys.
Well,
Okay, I think that's enough beer talk.
Yeah,
at
I
this
think
point.
it's time
sorry,
to move on
I-
to.
no,
it's
no,
good.
no.
I'm bad.
I
I'm
enjoyed-
bad about talking about the things.
I had
the
a
few
weird
things
question.
I know.
though.
I
This
love
is-
it.
Josh did too.
This is technically a beer podcast, technically. So
JP's just falling asleep over there.
No,
Like,
no.
Shut the fuck up about
well,
barrels.
it's because I chugged Karloff in like 2 seconds.
you did.
It's so-
And it really shut
That's
me down.
on you.
I have
Yeah.
to say, so
you.
Blanton's is one of my favorite like bourbons. Anytime it's around, it's like that's
Sure.
what I want.
Yeah, it's
like
great.
I don't know if it's like the classic like Kentucky Derby like thing that just goes into your head. That's like,
I mean, it's
you
really
just
it's
do
a really
that, but,
cool
like,
bottle.
but the bottle's rad, and every time I see it, I just feel fancy if I'm drinking it.
You should.
Yeah, John
But I
Wick.
like this barrel more.
Wick.
It's
The
on
E.H.
John
Taylor?
Wick.
Yeah, I like
That's what he
the
gets at the
E.H. Taylor more.
Continental.
I don't think I've ever
Set
had
up a
E.H.
bottle
Taylor
of
bourbon.
Blanton's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, don't tell Mr. Bland, but I like E.H. Taylor better.
Fuck, I was gonna tell him. He's actually listening right now.
I like E.H.
He's
Taylor.
live
Wait,
streaming.
he's one of
in.
your listeners.
He's one of the four.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
man.
weird.
And he listens all the
It's
time.
him, our producer AJ,
Oh, Mr.
No,
and
Blanton.
then that's
never-
it. Some random dude
I'll
we
never
don't.
get
Mr. Blanton.
another Blanton
Oh,
barrel.
Mr. Blanton.
Shoot.
It's Will
Mr.
Perry at
Blanton.
False Idols.
I also-
Beer.com.
I
Shut your
preferred
mouth.
I preferred the H. Taylor as well. They were both fantastic, but I did also prefer the first one. They're both. I mean, they're great. Yeah,
No, the E.H. Taylor was
that's
very
fucking,
expressive.
It's fucking nice.
Cool.
We have a
Thank
bet
you,
going
guys.
on. We have a
Oh,
bet
we do
going
have a
on, by the way. We talked about in game. Oh, yeah, you do.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, no, my bet was just a side bet with Josh over. It was versus a beer we just previously released called Porkins. For the
JP's passion
anniversary.
project, by the way.
Dude, it's one of my favorite characters.
Cover
I'm
me
super into
Porkins.
Star Wars, and Porkins. I felt.
I love any character that shows up for 8 seconds in a movie.
Yeah, I mean,
Porkins
I just had a lot of.
It's kind of my thing.
They put Porkins in this movie, and I have a lot of
I
questions.
have a weird niche.
I don't know. It's like really flash of the pan.
Yeah, anybody listening as homework,
Moments of greatness.
go watch the scene where Porkins is called
8
in.
seconds of greatness.
It's in Star
It's in
Wars.
New Hope,
You gotta,
yeah.
Okay, there you go. You gotta tell them what it is.
Oh shit! If you're a Star Wars fan, you don't know about Porkins. Come on, man.
Get the fuck out of
They-
here.
he just
Yeah.
Come on, he had 8 seconds.
immediately cuts into this like scene that you ask a million questions. Like, man, how the hell did
Also,
he get
if,
in that?
if
thing?
you're not 100% sure which character Porkins is, if you listen to the name and you'll figure it out real
You
quickly.
actually you don't need to hear it. You just kind of gotta watch. It's
Well, yeah,
self-explanatory. Just
and
by
he's
the-
not from another. He's human. He's not from another
he
planet.
looks like this in
He
the
looks
X-Wing.
great.
Yeah.
Wait,
he's
Porkins
also-
is human?
Yes,
100%. Yeah.
and he is all smushed inside that X-wing.
No, he's just got this like
Poor guy.
chin strap.
He got murdered because he couldn't turn.
Well, he was just a
Hey,
computer guy, and
can't
then
turn left.
a war happened, and he
Let's
had to,
be honest.
He got
Anytime someone says
drafted.
"cover me," like your outlook.
You're covering everybody,
very
dude. What are you
gloomy.
talking about?
Yeah, cover me. What is happening? Like,
You're
I'm about to just
casting a
get
shadow, sir.
boom, 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 boom.
So what's the bet? What's the bet?
Oh, so our bet was Josh and I was over. We feel I'm speaking for everybody, but not Will. He hasn't tried it yet. But I think that this batch of Endgame, it's pretty freaking good.
It's very good.
It's very good.
Yeah, we gotta try it after this, Will.
Yeah,
Yes, I would love
if
to.
you're a
That
good
sounds
boy.
great.
Anyways,
If you're a good boy.
Wow,
So-
actually, I better behave.
Yes, I would love
Better
to.
start talking more about Porkins.
so, but yeah, we have a churrascaria bet essentially, and that's Alex's favorite word. But yeah,
My skin crawls every
if the
time I
new
fucking
batch, what 2022 Endgame beats what Porkins
The
rating
ratings
is
on
on
Untapped.
Untapped.
We're going to give it a month because Porkins was about a month and a half ago. We're going to give in-game a month to get ratings in. And I separated, so we had the first one that we did, it just was called...
I gotta pee. I'll be
Go
right
for
back.
it. It was just called in-game on Untapped. And then the second one was called in-game 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And then we haven't done one since. So I made sure, and what was it, 2020?
We did. No, we did.
No,
one.
it was 2020.
We did, yeah.
It was 2019 and 2020.
2020, yeah.
But the first one just said in-game. So it has like 1,500 check-ins, and then the 2021 had like 150. So, because they always just go to the one that just, it doesn't say the year. They just go, oh, this is it. This is in-game. They don't know. But so I changed all of them to have their year next to it, so there wouldn't be any preference. I'm just going to hit the one that just says in-game. So
Click the one that applies.
in-game 2022, that's on Untapped right now. And
Yeah.
once we release it, people are going to start checking it in. Porkins has a 4.31 rating, which I was shocked by for one thing.
Hey, I had a good idea.
I like Porkins,
Every now and then I do.
but it was sweeter than I thought it should be.
I haven't had it.
Oh,
It's,
dude, no, I
uh,
think the
Sounds good.
coffee, the roastiness of it kind of balances it all out. So.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever. But
I like iced coffee. So.
but it's so.
I didn't get iced coffee today.
Oh, you gotta move
my
up,
man,
dude.
my man.
Dragon.
You gotta move up closer.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I forgot.
So,
You'll
yeah.
barely hear you.
I forgot about the speaker. Sorry.
So either I win and Porkins' rating is better, or Josh wins and
In new in-game.
Endgame is better, and
Whoever-
loser has to pay for him to have a full meal lunch. We talked about lunch.
And we're doing lunch because we're not rich.
yeah, we're poor.
We're going to lunch at Fazenda Gausha, the
Yeah.
Bedford Brazilian Steakhouse.
Wait, there's what?
Dude,
Yeah,
oh,
it's
you
off,
haven't been?
It's off Pipeline, man.
Yeah.
It's
I've
just
never
right down
heard
the-
about this.
Yeah,
Is
go.
it like the Fogo de Chao where you got the
Yeah.
card?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not. The meat is really good. The salad bar is nowhere near as
Yeah,
good.
well,
Is it as
I've never been
expensive?
one.
So the lunch is like $20.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And it's good meat.
Yes.
It's 5 minutes up the
It's
road
good.
from here.
All right,
I mean,
got-
Texas State Brazil is my favorite. Like,
That
and those
sounds
are
awesome.
better. But for $20, I mean,
know?
almost none of them offer like the lunch.
Next
special.
time, lunch when you have some downtime. And we have
I
some
don't
time
have
to get.
downtime ever.
I know.
But-
He's kind of a,
shot that down
Two-man
real quick.
show over there.
If it happens,
yeah, I'm saying
That
let's
sounds
go.
awesome.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'd
that
love
sounds
to go out.
awesome.
It's gonna be fun, man.
you said it's here in Bedford, right?
It's literally like 2 minutes on the road.
Yeah.
You take Brown Trail all the way to Pipeline, take a left, and it's like right there.
That sounds great.
Oh yeah.
And they're no longer. They used to be BYOB, which was awesome. They're
Not
not
anymore. Not anymore.
Oh,
I used to
bummer.
bring 4-packs of our beer in and just hang out. It was so much fun.
Just 4-pack of Johnny Karate and
No.
You didn't even eat lunch. You just drank.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm still deciding.
lunch.
I actually don't know what I'm gonna get. And they're like, it's a buffet. What are you doing? Like, if we just bring you meat, like, I haven't thought about it yet.
Talking about Chance?
No, we're talking about Fazenda Gausha.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't want to beat a dead horse on the barrel age subject, but I kind of really actually I think
No,
you
he-
explained it.
He wants to make it
Taught us
public
some
because
stuff.
now we're bound to this.
What did I
But-
not say?
But I want to know: is there for the question for Will, and then everyone else can go in? Is there like a barrel age style of beer or a beer style you'll never barrel age? So do you do like
Lager.
a barrel aged IPA? You
I
can
do a
do like a
lager.
barrel aged double hazy.
Disgusting.
Well, okay. So are we talking any barrel?
Well, yeah.
Any like it could be wine
Is there
barrel,
something that
neutral
just-
barrel,
you-
Is
And-
there any combination that would be
They were
off
like,
limits?
I just
Smoothie sour.
don't see it.
off
Or,
limits.
okay, no, I would say style of beer though, right? Like, because you
Yeah,
can do
that's exactly
like,
what I'm asking.
a lager. I would love to do a neutral barrel with like an Oktoberfest. I've had them before and they're fucking delicious.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean that's fairly traditional.
So
I was thinking like,
Pilsner Quells, they're all barrel aged.
Yeah.
really? Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know
But
that.
is there like
portion
a
of them are.
so let's say an amber, right? Like,
Amber. Okay, so like, yeah, I don't know. I want to say brown, but I've had some stuff that.
Stop that.
Dude,
I'm
I've had-
gassy. Cinco de Mayo.
Stop it.
Guess what I ate for lunch?
I've had some barrel aged browns that were great, but they were like imperial browns, and brown is like my least favorite style.
Dude, Boulevard did a really good one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, so
I can't tell you which one.
I just like
Yep.
that I have to take him for his word. I also looking at Will and I'm like,
It's true. I bought it.
His response of, yep.
I bought it.
Alright.
I bought it twice.
I am so torn by that.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to sound like that.
That's funny.
Okay. Sorry, Josh.
No, you're good.
No, fuck him. You're good, Will.
I would say IPA because people try to make barrel
That's
aged
so
IPA a
stupid.
thing
I
for the
fucking hate
longest
What's the
time.
point? What
And
are you
every time I had
getting?
it, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. What are you doing?
I remember talking to somebody in Dallas, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we do an Imperial IPA. And we barrel age it for like 8 months or whatever." I go, "Oh, is that just because you think the hops are going to have those antimicrobial properties to keep the beer? So it's just
Not
a
at all.
and then you're going to release it as a barley wine?" And he goes,
No.
"He goes, yeah."
Disagree.
He just goes, "Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I do."
So the
Insurance.
10
no,
months.
I'm not shitting on this
Sounds like
brewery. No. But the
Stop shitting on him.
Barrel Crusher, I had it. I've only it's from Deep Ellum.
Deep
like,
Ellum, yeah, I remember that.
I'm not shitting on Deep Ellum. It's that beer. I mean, it's what we're talking about.
I
It's
actually
a barrel
didn't- I
aged
didn't
double
mind it.
IPA. I mean, I hated it.
I didn't mind
I
it.
like Dream Crusher.
yeah,
Whenever
yeah.
it first came out.
Yeah, I
That was
used to
my
love
deal.
Dream Crusher. I mean, I don't buy anybody else's beer anymore, so it's like I don't ever try it. But like
That's an issue.
I had Barrel Crusher in Abilene, and it might have been.
Would you stop jumping the gun?
We're supposed to toast, you jerk.
Okay, toast down so we can all.
Okay,
drink.
what is this? What is this beer?
This would be Ragnarok. It's a New England single IPA. Thank you for doing a single IPA.
Single life.
Oh, this was at BJ's where we went to for lunch today.
Ooh,
was.
fancy. I
Yeah.
didn't know we were on BJ.
With Strata. One hop,
That's
huh?
cool.
Right
Oh,
here.
One hop.
Single hop boy.
just in South Richland Hills.
I mean, you can't go wrong with.
I mean
Strata.
Hurst.
Strata's good.
Southeast.
Yeah,
It's
Southeast.
delicious.
That's really good.
Y'all's labels are dope too. Who does y'all's labels?
Girl named Mariah.
She was here for the anniversary.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
we talked about
yeah.
this.
She was the one that was dressed up in a Pikachu costume or something because Dom
That's
told
right.
her
That's
that
right.
it was a costume party and no one was in costume.
Was Dom being a douchebag or was
Yes.
he? Okay.
I mean, it wasn't a costume party. He told
I mean,
her
we-
it was.
Well, it was
so.
a Star Wars costume
yeah,
party,
yeah, yeah.
not a Pokemon party.
Wear whatever you want.
Oh no, you're talking about the Brewers Night.
Oh yeah.
Oh, before the anniversary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the day
yeah.
before.
Yeah. She was dressed up and nobody else was.
What a
She's
dick.
like, freaking
That's
Dom told me
awesome.
it was a costume party.
Did you not have clothes on underneath it? Like you just, I mean, I guess it's gonna be hot in there, so
I mean,
maybe
I don't
not.
know.
Maybe not.
I-
Yeah, well, that's
I
a
didn't ask.
different question for HR.
It's not- I'm like,
I know what
Every
all
guy
my
just
employees
goes-
are
everybody
wearing.
just-
taking off
Not
your
my
clothes.
HR.
Yeah,
Not my
no,
HR.
This is,
No.
there's no good way
No.
to approach this topic.
Yeah,
Just leave it.
All
Just
right.
moving
All right,
on.
we're
Moment
moving on.
moment of silence.
We got my topic, which is gonna probably be unfortunately long. So I hope y'all like long episodes.
Aren't we already late?
It's pet peeves.
Yeah.
My topic is pet peeves.
Long podcast episodes.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Nobody watches anyway. It's all good. Watch it twice, stupid. Like watch the first half and then the second half. So pet peeves. I will start. My biggest pet peeve, and I'm sure we will pile on the loud chewing. Loud chewing is garbage.
I'm a loud
And-
chewer.
No, you're not. I eat with you. We eat together all the time. You are not a loud chewer.
I know.
Question: Am I a loud chewer?
Oh, I feel
I don't
like
think so.
I'm saying I feel like I'm a loud chewer.
If I don't have you pegged as a loud chewer and I hear you eat every day, you're probably safe.
Yeah. So like,
It's just
some
Oh,
friends of ours.
well, no, close your
are-
mouth.
Like their biggest pet peeve is like loud chewing,
I think I got
and
a friend.
Kayla, my fiance's
I just said
biggest pet peeve is loud chewing, and she constantly is like, "Fucking stop." I'm like, I don't think I'm just.
You don't gotta be
chewing.
rude.
Yeah,
Maybe-
oh, she's super fucking rude.
Maybe
about
her
it.
ears
Yeah.
are too sensitive.
I'm gonna
How
go-
about that?
Now grow up.
Plug your ears up a little bit.
Yeah, grow up.
Put in some.
With any of the pet peeves, do you ever feel like the person's like, "Oh, I don't like when people write with blue pen. I only write with black pen." Right?
Yeah, I've
fucking
heard some
stupid.
real stupid
There's
pet
some
peeves.
dumb.
weird
But do you ever
Get
feel?
outta
Well, do you
here.
ever feel like maybe the people are like, "Oh, I don't like loud chewers," and then you sit next to them,
And they're the loudest fucking.
Are you
chewer.
trying to tell me that I'm a
Yes.
loud chewer?
no, I'm just saying. No,
Wow.
you actually a very delicate eater.
I try to be.
No, so
Delicate eater.
yeah,
Is that a
Caitlin will
compliment
say
or
like,
not?
"I hate
a
mouth
beer name.
noises," and she does this thing all the time. Like she'll just sit there and go,
Oh, I don't like
And it doesn't really bother me.
I
the
know that
only thing,
you're-
you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
I know
The
exactly
only
what
thing,
you're
I
saying.
still have not had the heart to tell her that she has the worst.
Next time you do that, just grab her tongue.
But like, I hope she keeps saying, I listen to every episode. We're going to find out if she listens to this episode because I've never told her, but she does it after every time we eat. She'll just go for like 20 minutes. And I don't say a word because it doesn't really bother me except for the fact that she's so vocal about how my mouth noises bother her. And I've never heard anybody complain about my mouth
It
noises.
sounds like an internal issue. That you
I
should
can't
talk
wait.
about.
I can't wait that we now that we publicly.
You're just putting her
yeah.
on blast,
Yeah.
and it's
All right.
a test.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
She's
Dr.
actually
Will.
listening.
Yeah, you look at it. Yeah,
So
Caitlin right here.
Cam's next episode, we're gonna have Caitlin right after that.
That or you won't have me. One of the two.
It's gonna be an hour of Alex and Caitlin fighting.
There will be a pair of boxing gloves hanging from the ceiling.
That or an hour of me just apologize and be like, baby, I'm sorry. I didn't. You
I
got
didn't-
a
I
joke.
shouldn't have.
Okay.
I was drunk.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, you blew it.
Will brought
Will did
barrel-aged
it.
stouts.
It's his fault. I couldn't help it.
But yeah, so loud chewing. That's a big one. I know. And like bad driving. Like I mean, there's all kinds of shit. The bad driving one, that one sucks because you're like, are you a good driver?
You help my pet peeve. Like I was thinking in my head because that's one of them
That's
for
it.
sure. Bad driving just drives me nuts.
Well, people that don't signal, people that, I mean, there's a million different
Well,
driving.
mine is
related
so
complaints.
dumb.
I have
Mine
a
is
big
so
one that I
dumb.
don't think I should say on this podcast because it would make me sound like an asshole at
Can
the
you-
brewery.
Can
I got
you
one
say-
that I'll say.
Oh
Okay.
no! Yeah.
I hate
Oh no!
Don't steal mine.
when people say she's hurting for a squirting.
Oh,
Oh,
is that a comment? Who's saying this so much?
Oh God!
Oh, what is that? What
to
movie
be
is
completely
that
honest,
from?
anybody that says anything remotely like it's one thing if you're like you're joking around and like that's like a like
That is a
I'm sorry, I know it's random, but that's like
we'll beep that out. Don't worry,
that's
that's
the one
we're
that,
not
like,
beeping that out.
I'm just
That-
wondering how
I
often
hate
it's
it so
said.
much.
Yeah, that's my. I have more questions.
it just makes
Okay,
my
we're
skin
having
crawl.
Dom on next because I feel like that's something that he says just all no, I'm kidding.
No, that's crazy.
She's hurting for God.
I mean,
What
I've
movie
definitely-
it is?
That's bad, right?
I've
I
heard
Right?
hate
No, that's terrible.
It's awful.
I hate anything that like any like normal conversation that you're having. That's a good pet peeve. You're having a normal conversation and somebody just naturally says something completely out of left field that's inappropriate. And you're like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, that's usually when that phrase gets said.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that situation.
Yeah, she's really pretty.
Oh, she's
Oh,
hurting for
yeah,
a
you know
squirt.
what?
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
Like I
and
have
some dude
yeah.
with like he just got done working on his
It's
truck.
like the
and he's
coolest
like,
thing you
"Fuck,
could think of, and he calls you chief or boss afterwards. Like, you get that boss, and you're like,
get
like
you
shut
get
up,
it.
Chad.
You get
"Oh,
it, chief.
God."
Yeah, sorry, I know that was
No,
really
that's a
random,
good one. No,
but-
no, no. This
I
is
mean,
not.
it was really
it's-
gross.
No, we're not
No,
offended.
no, but I
Unfortunately,
agree.
that was one
Like the
thing.
gross language whenever you're just having a normal conversation, you're like, no, let's not.
Yeah, stop that.
This isn't.
Don't-
First of all,
don't
this
say
isn't
that.
the locker room.
Oh,
and
she's-
if you ever actually been to a locker room, it's not as gross as you
Wait,
think.
oh,
Yeah,
And it feels like
even
a
if
bag
it is
of
a locker
sand.
room, Stop.
Oh,
all
dude.
right?
Oh, wow. She's super hot. Oh yeah, she's hurting for a squirt, and you're like, well, that's
Ew.
super hot's
That
already
comes
a
out of
little.
the darkest corner, like the weirdest
We're
shadowy
eating
corner.
lunch right now.
Like,
Stop
you're the
it.
guy that's going to be in jail in 10 years.
Yeah,
You're-
exactly.
Like, if that's where your
You,
mind goes,
are like, do you
that's
need
not
a
good.
hug, buddy? Like, are
Yeah.
you okay?
But
Change
hey,
the
Sounds
way
like I
you
need something
are.
else.
what if?
yeah, do you need a hand job?
What? Hey, what if it worked
Well,
out?
You
he's
just
hurting.
haven't gotten any, but
He's
Alex
hurting
is
for a
here to
squirting
help.
too.
Hey, but what if?
if you stop saying that weird shit, I'll help out.
What if it works out, right? What if that guy's like, she's hurting for a squid, and
She's like, yeah, I am.
then
he
he
goes-
goes, he's like, hey, my name's Kyler,
Of course it is.
right?
It's always Kyler.
right? And then like you go, they get married, and he's like, well, I knew I had her when I was like, I was telling my buddy over here, and I was like, she was hurting for a
Yeah.
squirt.
How did you guys meet? Well, she was serving us, and I immediately asked her, ma'am,
She was my waitress
do you
at
happen to be
Finnegan's."
hurting for a squirting
No,
right now?
he's like reading his vows. He's like, I knew she was the one.
From the first moment that I noticed that you were hurting
She walked in
for
the-
said squirting.
She walked in the door, and she just looked abnormally dry.
I know I shouldn't have brought this up.
You see people cry.
It's all downhill from here.
It's so beautiful.
Kyler is such a wordsmith.
Tyler.
Who knew little Kyler was going to grow up to be this great
Ashley's
man?
going to be so happy with him.
His career at Discount Tire is going so well.
Kyler and Ashley.
Yeah, that's 2 on the nose.
Hopefully he knows how to drive stick.
If your name's Kyler,
Oh,
and
he
you work
does.
at,
Full circle.
Oh,
There
thank
go.
you,
Good
thank you,
job.
thank
if
you.
your name is Kyler and you work at Discount Tire, and that is exactly how your life played out, this had nothing to
Hopefully
do with
Ashley's
you.
doing well.
Just a coincidence. But yeah,
Oh,
no.
so what's yours?
So, dude, you want to know what?
Guy's named Kyler.
This is.
You're always stealing my girlfriend.
I think it's a testament to how actually stressed I actually am.
Oh no.
Running a business is fucking difficult.
No.
No, I mean, everyone's like, this is fun, right? But this is like a part of.
This isn't a business.
If I'm using time for this,
Not a good one.
it's taking away from time, valuable time that I could be making more of myself by growing a brand, right? Because I wanted to do this. I took this on. But my big thing that fucking just kills me is if I'm driving through a fucking parking lot and there are clearly marked arrows and you can only park one way.
Oh, they're only the diagonal spots.
Some asshole's coming down and you're going the right way. The arrow is pointing, forward for you, and it's reverse on him. Could you, like, it drives, and they look at you like, hey, you're in the fucking way, and I'm like, go ahead and try to park in one of these spaces and not fucking put it in reverse for a second and try to fill it out or park. Like, it drives me nuts. Just fucking follow the rules of the fucking parking
It's an
lot,
arrow.
man.
Arrows are pretty easy.
I fucking hate it.
Oh.
At the same time, I've noticed that when I tear ass out of the parking lot, rules don't apply to me. So I just kind of just pull forward.
But when other people do it,
But
fuck
when
them.
they do it, it pisses me off.
Which I totally get.
And
I
that's
think that's very
valid.
fair.
Yeah.
Don't piss me off. I piss you off. That's what's fair.
Parking lot thing. So we had I forget what event it was, but there was an event up here, and I pulled in the back off tennis, like I always do, and oh my gosh, it was the Whiskey Club event. So there was a group of people that were like, have fun, stand in the lane, cool, I don't care.
Sure.
It's like whenever you're growing up and you're throwing a football in the street. You're like, a car, and you go over to the side and you wait for them to pass
Game
and you go back.
on.
Yeah, exactly. But these guys, there's a lane and there were cars on both sides just lined up, and they're like in the lane, and there's clearly not enough room between the furthest guy in the lane and the car. And I pull up and I'm just keep going. I'm going slow.
Just
And
like,
I get
hey.
right up next to him. He's looking at me. He sees me like way in advance, and I get like right up next to him. I'm like, and they finally move, but they move enough, like barely enough for me to get past them. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, get out
Listen,
of the way.
I didn't want to hit you before, but now you're looking at a whole lot like 10 points.
I
So,
work here. Five at best.
All right. This has been a super fun episode. Will, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
I had
you
a
for
lot of
bringing
fun.
all this beer. It's so nice for somebody to bring in beer.
And if
Good
you're
for you.
Will,
Hurrah,
Will,
hurrah,
Will,
hurrah,
Will,
hurrah.
Will.
if you're ever hurting for a squirt, you can come back.
Oh,
The next no, not
good to
ever.
me.
Next time.
Yeah. As soon as you're hurting for a squirt, and we're here for you.
So tell us just before we go,
squirt
tell
you.
us real quick about the what's upcoming, the new releases, and the anniversary party.
Upcoming, it's kind of nonstop at the brewery. We got these 2 beers that we tasted today, the 2 barrel-aged beers. We have those 2 coming out tomorrow. Well,
How much are they?
they're $20 per 500 ml can.
Okay. Hopefully they're gone by the time you get a chance to go get it. But
Deal.
Yeah.
I sure hope. I guess this is coming out like what is it?
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. Okay, so yeah, so
They should still be around.
By the time this airs, these 2 will definitely be available on draft, probably in cans as well. And then we're gonna have Fix Wolves, a hazy pale ale, as well as Blue Magic,
Oh, those are both great.
double IPA.
Oh yeah.
That we've done a handful of times, and then we're kind of gearing up for the anniversary, which is our 2-year anniversary, which is going to be on May 21st.
Okay.
May
which is
21st.
a Saturday. We have a VIP session from like noon to 2, and then 4 to 6 is the GA. And
General admission.
general admission. That's right. And
General
so we're
admission.
gearing up for that. We're gonna have a lot of beers for it. A lot of beers we're pulling out of the cellar, as well as we're gonna have music. We're gonna have vendors, all sorts of stuff. So it's the biggest event of the year for us, as it is for most breweries. So,
Right.
we're really gearing up for it. You guys just had your anniversary just a few weeks ago, so I know you guys are kind of coming off the high from that, which is
It's fun to go to a next one where we're not on the time clock, so to speak.
Yeah,
like
all
we're like,
the stress
"Oh,
is not
it's
on
gone.
you."
Now we can go enjoy your stress.
Yeah, I'll
That'll be
treat mine
fun."
Yeah,
or
Yeah.
yours like it was mine. So
There you go. Yeah.
Call me an Uber.
So we're
Just
gearing up
happy
for
to be
that.
here.
call me an Uber.
We definitely want everyone to come out that wants to come out for it.
How much are tickets to VIP? How much are tickets to GA?
Pricey.
Check it out on
That's
the-
going to be on Instagram.
Okay, so at Fallsidle.
At falsidlebrew.com.
Okay.
Or at falsidlebrew is kind of the handle for Facebook and for Instagram, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can find us on there. All the info for the pricing and all that stuff for the tickets is on there as well.
And if you have any issues with Fallsidle, you just email will at fallsidlebrew.com.
no.
Is that what?
No.
Well, wait, Matt at Celestial made a mistake. We said the same joke, and he actually corrected Alex. I
email?
was like, no, it's this. I was like, no, don't do this. What are you doing?
Because I
man?
went, oh, I'm sure it's Matthew at
No, you said
Celestial
Matt, and he
Beer
goes, no, it's Matthew.
Well,
I
now
was
he's getting but now he's getting 40-year-old Pappy
Yeah.
barrels. So
Yeah, so fuck him.
Yeah.
It's fine.
40-year-old.
Yeah, well, I won't correct you. But,
But yeah, anything else to plug?
I think those are the main things for right now. We're
Awesome.
just trying to get through things week by week. And, we're all working towards this big anniversary.
Well, we'll be
and
there.
Thank
for
you.
sure.
Thank you.
No,
We're
of
excited
course,
to have
man.
you.
Yeah, again, thank you so much for doing the first ever episode that never aired, but I'm glad we could finally get you here
I'm
on
sorry,
episode
I
8.
know, for
No,
the
no.
people that don't know, this is
The
this
fourth
is the
time.
third. I mean, since the first time I was on, this is the third attempt to get me on. And something always came up, and I wasn't able to do it. I canceled last minute.
Yeah,
or-
he's one of the people that we were making fun of before. Saying
Oh, you
that-
made fun of me on the
Well,
last
not made fun
podcast?
of you. We said
never
our,
named
our guests,
names,
I said
okay?
our
It's
guests
fine.
hate us. Like we were built. The first one we were
He got
the,
sick,
The
he
last one
got
we were
busy
built
with
on. We were
work.
built on y'all and Larry from Wise Guys Pizza.
Oh.
Like so, he was like gonna do it, and like the day before, we're like, oh yeah. Because Alex was like, "Oh, well, Will can't come, so let's do Larry." I was like, "Yeah, that'd be great." Then the day of,
It was literally an hour before
yeah.
he was supposed to be here. He's like, I can't make it.
we're like, "Fuck."
No, it's fine.
Yeah, it was fine. It was,
I'm
we still
sorry
did.
for
That
being
ended
Don't-
up,
don't
that ended
apologize,
up being
fine.
like the best episode I think that we've done so
Oh,
far.
good.
Yeah.
y'all want to
So-
go?
so screw you guys, but no.
Shocker.
You guys want to go drink some Endgame?
Yeah, let's go drink some.
Yeah, I
Endgame.
need to try this. I gotta head out real quick, but I have
But no.
time to try some in-game.
Will, thank you guys again.
Thank you so
Guys,
much.
Love y'all.
Love
Cheers.
you.
Love you guys. Thank you for having me.
Well, that about wraps up this episode of Liquor Before Beer podcast. I wanted to thank every one of our listeners for tuning in. Huge thank you to Will Perry for stopping in and giving us a little more insight on everything False Idol Brewing is doing. And if you have not bought your tickets to their second anniversary party, I'm telling you, you will be missing out. You'll hate yourself. Last year's Back to the Future theme anniversary party is one of the best events I went to in 2021. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure to follow us on our social media, Facebook, Friendster, Instagram. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys real soon. Cheers.